Dallas Cowboys. Wide receiver number 83, Golden Richards, 6 foot 190, 4-year man out of Hawaii. Number 73, Ralph Neely at left tackle, 6'6", 255 in his cross here from Oklahoma. Number 68, Herb Scott, 6'2", 250, a 2-year man from Virginia Union. Center, probably Johnny Fitzgerald, number 62, 6'5", 252, 6-year man from Boston College. Right guard, number 61, Wayne Nye, 6'4", 255, 9th year from Stanford. Right tackle, number 70, Rayfield White, 6'6", 255, and his 10th year from Fort Valley State. Tight end number 89, Billy Joe Dupree, 6'4", 230, a 4-year man from Michigan State. Quarterback number 12, Roger Staubach, 6'3", 197, 8th year in from Navy. And running back number 21, Doug Dennison, 6 foot 208, a 3-year man from Kutztown State. Number 35, Scott Laidlaw, the other running back, 6 foot 202, a 2-year man out of Stanford. And the wide receiver, number 88, Drew Pearson, 6 foot 185, a 4-year man from Delta. In just a couple of moments, the NFL kickoff on Mutual.
Project 76, the presidency, part of Mutual's extensive coverage.
Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob. Not a cloud in the sky. Weekend. Say a few friends drop by. Weekend. Let you know which beer you're going out to buy. It's Michelob.
Maybe this would be a good weekend to try Mix 7. Mick for Michelob. 7 for 7 ounces of unexpected pleasure. Look for Mix 7 in the gold 6-pack.
Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob. Have a nice one you hear. Weekend. 52 times a year. Weekend. Don't forget, remember to pick up some Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Distributed by Utley Distributing Company.
North End. We've had the toss. Cowboys have lost. Baltimore has won the toss. Baltimore will receive. And they will be moving left, right, or from north to south. Cowboys kicking off at the right end. So this one about to get underway. The Baltimore Colts and the Dallas Cowboys. Colts right now out in front of the American Football Conference East, while the Dallas Cowboys in a two-way tie with the Redskins in St. Louis. And right now we're getting all set for the kickoff.
Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob.
There's a great entertainer in town. Mix 7. Mick for Michelob. 7 for 7 ounces of the beer that's always an unexpected pleasure. Try it out for size this weekend.
Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Distributed by Utley Distributing Company.
86 weather, where there's a chance of rain in our forecast for the rest of this afternoon. Also for tonight and tomorrow. Our low tonight down to about 55. Tomorrow we'll have a 75-degree high. A little bit cooler than today. Right now it's 82 degrees. A lot of humidity at Radio 86.
Efren Herrera is seated up at the 35-yard line for Dallas. The deep man is Howard Stevens on the goal line. On the far side, we've got down the calling near sideline, Bruce Laird. Efren Herrera played his college ball at UCLA, and this one about to get underway. Signals, deep man is Stevens. Here comes the run-up, and it's underway between Dallas and Baltimore. Soccer-style booth coming down to Laird. Backs up to the 4, at the 5, the 10, the right sideline, 15, 20. And about the 22-yard line, he is hustled out of bounds. And a little bit of a late hit there by one of the Dallas Cowboys, and Laird gave him a shove. The late hit made by Mike Edmond, a linebacker. A
I'm looking across the field, Tony, and I can't help but see that sign 74, Bob Lilly, 1961 to 1974. There was a great one, and he'll be sorely missed for their defense.
First down and 10 now for the Baltimore Colts. The ball is at the Baltimore 26-yard line. They come out in an I formation. Bert Jones, the quarterback. Wide receivers left and right. Deep man in the I line. L. Mitchell gets the handoff, and he's going to get up to about the 28-yard line and no more.
That's it. That was an isolation play, just a pro set, tight end, flanker one side, I formation, and isolate by dividing the line blocks and filtering through the big running back and trying to get Lydell sprung.
A gain of a couple on the play. It'll be second down and 8 to go. Wide to the left goes Roger Carr, caught 3 for touchdowns last week. He's covered on the play by Mel Renfro. Wide to the right is Glenn Donahue. Now comes in motion back toward the line of scrimmage. Jones hands off, the ball going to Mitchell. Mitchell dancing with some running room at left tackle, gets up past the 30 and maybe up to the 31-yard line, and that's about it for Lydell Mitchell, as he is wrapped up after getting about 3 yards on the play, as the stop is made by Jethro Pugh, 6'6", 248-pound, 12-year veteran from Elizabeth City State.
You notice how many times now we're seeing in the last 2 years the motion from the outside in, the flanker back, and the split end, and it presents a lot of problems when teams are covering man coverage. I think we'll see a lot of it today.
This time the wide receivers split left and right, but they changed positions. Doty left, and out to the right is Roger Carr. Jones back to throw. Got the time, going for Doty down the sideline, out of his hand. Out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. Leaped high in the air, got his hands on the ball, couldn't hold it. And the incomplete pass. So Baltimore now 0-1 on third down conversion, and that's going to set up the punting situation. David Lee, the Baltimore punter, 6'5", 244 pounds, 11-year veteran out of Louisiana Tech.
That'll give you an indication. Bert Jones, when he lofted that ball up, he had everybody split as wide as he could get them, and he was trying to beat the double deep safety of Dallas and laid the ball just a little high, but it's a threat.
Lee's been averaging 47 yards a boot. He's kicked the ball 8 times in the first 2 games. Waiting for the snap, standing back at the 15-yard line, and he gets it up in the air. It is a boomer. Back there is Golden Richards. Has it. Drops it. Picks it up at the 15. Circles to his right back to 12, but he is knocked down at about the 13-yard line. There's also a penalty marker on the play. Penalty marker on the play at about the 16-yard line. And the ref may be against Dallas's Thomas Henderson. 52-yard punt, -3 on the return. And it's going to be a clipping call against the Dallas Cowboys.
They tried to form that wall on the right side to return right for the Cowboys, and that's the tough place. That's where your clips usually come in when they start wheeling, as they call blindsiding the blocks.
Well, that'll set the Cowboys back inside the 10-yard line. Ball is going to be at the 7, 1st and 10 for Dallas. Cowboys come out of the huddle. Out to the left comes Golden Richards. Wide to the right. Got Pearson coming back toward the line of scrimmage. Roger Staubach turns around, gives it to Doug Dennison. And the 6', 208-pound, 3-year man out of Kutztown State hits the right side and gets it up past the 7, maybe about the 9-yard line, an advance of about 2 on the play. That'll make it second down and 8 for Dallas.
That's really the first play of Dallas's offense was identical to the first play of the Colts. They got into the eye and isolated and coming out. But they would do a little strange thing. They stem. That means they line up in one formation, quarterback comes under, and they move quickly to another.
Laidlaw, the front man on the eye. They shift out of the eye now. Charles Young has replaced Dennison. Here's the pitch to Laidlaw, circling to the left. He gets up past the 10 to about the 12-yard line and is hit by a gang of Baltimore Colts. Matter of fact, one of the Colt linebackers, Stan White, on the right side, comes up with a football, but the play had been whistled dead. Big John Dutton was there, so was Joe Irving, the defensive right tackle and right end, respectively. The ball is up to the 12-yard line, and now Dallas faced with third down and about 4 to go at their own 12.
I like to see that play in football. It's just a pitch out to the fullback and a lead halfback to the split end side. You don't see it much.
Richards comes wide left. Billy Joe Dupre, the tight end, on the right side. Wide on the right, we've got Drew Pearson. Staubach fakes the handoff, rolling to the right, throws to his back coming out of the backfield at the 16-yard line, up to the 20-yard line, up to the 21-yard line. Scott Laidlaw made the grab. 6-foot, 202-pounder, a 2-year man out of Stanford. And the Dallas Cowboys have a first down. Tom Landry said that they probably would throw more to the back this year than ever before, so they get the first conversion on third down, getting the pass from Staubach up to Laidlaw, who came out of the backfield, circled to the right, and got yardage up to the 22-yard line, where it's a Dallas first down, 1st and 10 at the 22. This time it's a slot to the left, with a halfback moving in motion to the right, handoff right straight up the middle. Staubach on the give. The ball carrier advances the ball up to about the 25-yard line. Stacked up on the play right there. And again, the ball carrier, Scott Laidlaw. He saw a lot of work last week, and he's going to see a lot this afternoon. He advanced on the play 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Cowboys at their own 25.
I think this is a great indication of the Cowboys, Tony, in that they have shown about 3 or 4 different sets and formations already with different kinds of motion.
Richards comes wide to the left. They're in the eye. On the give to Dennison in the backfield. 25, 30, 35, 37-yard line. Before he's finally stopped by Dan White, and also by middle linebacker Jim Chayonsky.
That was a little semi-draw play where they came back like the pocket and then just tucked it into Dennison's bucket, and he just ran right over the middle with a trap block.
So it's first down for the Cowboys. They started back at their 7. They advanced the ball 30 yards upfield. Now 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. Billy Joe Dupree is the tight end on the left side. We've got double wide receiver right. Here's the fake handoff. Staubach back to throws. Got the time. Fires up over the middle. It's going to be 48 to 45 out of the 40 to 36-yard line. The grab made by Drew Pearson, 6 foot, 185-pound, 4-year veteran from Tulsa. And Staubach had the time. Drove one right up the middle. Pearson cutting back over the middle, made the catch and gets it down to the 36-yard line. A 27-yard pass play. Staubach to Pearson, and another Dallas first down, and the Cowboys are on the move.
That was a real simple maneuver, really, but it was well executed. They had a tailback, fullback, baked into the line, the combination of 2 wide receivers right, the outside guy drug underneath the inside receiver.
Now they've got an I formation with a slot left. Pearson moving across the line of scrimmage to the far side of the field. Staubach turns around, gives it to Dennison, cuts it up to 40 to 35 to 30, and knocked out at the 28-yard line. He was finally stopped by one of the linebackers, Darrell Luce, a 2-year man who played his college ball at Baylor. He is 6'3", 227 pounds. Left side linebacker came over to the right side to make the stop on the play, but the advance is 8, and it's Dallas now 2nd down and 2. Dennison 3 carries, 22 yards.
And what they're doing is really magnificent to watch because they establish strength of a combo of receivers, and then one of the receivers goes in motion all the way across the field to the other side, and then they come back and attack the weak side.
Here's a pitch on a slot to the left. The pitch out going to Laidlaw. Laidlaw trying to get some running room. Almost came to the sideline. Just couldn't find any running room at all. The defensive flow was right there for the Baltimore Colts. They make the stop. Stanley White, the right side linebacker on the play, making the hit. And it's going to be 3rd down, and they'll still have about a yard and a half to go for a first down. And now we've got a couple of substitutions. Golden Richards comes out, and Jay Saldi, a free agent out of South Carolina, is in, and Doug Dennison is back in the ball game.
Well, they've put together about a 63-yard drive so far, and they're really knocking.
Dallas comes out in the I formation. 3rd down, a yard and a half to go. The ball at the 27-yard line. The Baltimore Colts. Turnaround, give Dennison hit in the backfield as coming in from the right side to make the hit on the play was Mike Barnes. Mike Barnes, the defensive left tackle, slowed him up a little bit. Still got down to right around the 27, maybe the 26-yard line. And we're going to have our first measurement of the afternoon.
Those close first down plays, they had 2 tight ends, everybody bunched in, and you know it's going to be a run, and the defense is up in front of them.
Remember, the Lazy Boy Cheer Company will award a Lazy Boy Cheer to the outstanding offensive and defensive player in this game. And, boy, that is really close. The official gets down on one knee. Roger Staubach signals to Tom Landry. Just about an inch to go. 4th down, and it'll be 1 inch to go for a first down. The ball is at the 26-yard line. Talking about Lazy Boy Chair and getting the outstanding offensive, defensive players today. Our judges are Bob St. John of the Dallas Morning News, Frank Luxo of the Dallas Times-Herald, and Roger Kay of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. We'll make the announcement on the winners right after the game is over. Here's double tight end situation. Handoff, power eye, fumble on the play, intercepted by Stan White. 25, 30, 35 at the 40. He's got bunkers. Justin at the 45 is going to be knocked out at the 47-yard line. They had a power eye that time, and when the ball carrier hit the line of scrimmage, coughed it up, it went high in the air. Stan White reached up and grabbed it, and the Cowboys spent in on a fumble, picked off in midair by Stan White, and the Colts have the ball. With a score, Dallas nothing, Baltimore nothing. There's a timeout on the field. Now this 4-4.
The Model T, the first V8, first wagon with a freeway gate, Mustang Pinto, Renata new, and now just look what Ford can do.
October 1st, Ford will present a whole range of better ideas for 77. A totally new Thunderbird, sticker price thousands less than before. A full-size LTD that kept its size. A true new LTD 2 with the spirit of Mustang 2. Granada gets overdrive standard, and there'll be a sportier-looking, sporty-handling Pinto. Ford's better ideas for 77. Test drive one of them starting October 1st.
They had a little pre-shift on that fumble play. As Tony Roberts said, they got into a power eye. They were down and then stemmed the whole line and then tried to go for it, but the fumble was coughed up and intercepted by Stan White.
First and 10 for the Baltimore Colts. They've got the ball at their own 46. Jones back to throw, looking to the right sideline. Pass is incomplete. It was intended for Glenn Dowdy, the wide receiver, on the right side. The Cowboys, even though they beat New Orleans last week 24-6, lost the ball 4 times in that game on fumbles. So they coughed one up here in the first period. Second and 10, the ball at the 46-yard line.
I think, judging from that first drive of the Cowboys, that probably the best defense the Colts can have is just what they're doing, keep possession of that football.
7 minutes, 30 seconds left to play in the first period. No score. Colts in the eye. Deep man is Mitchell. Wide receivers left and right. Jones back to throw. Got the time. Looks, throws to the man out of the backfield. 45. At the 50-yard line and down to about the 49-yard line is Roosevelt Leaks. 5'11", 225-pound, 2-year man out of Texas. Set all kinds of rushing records down at the University of Texas.
I can see a little strategy developing here because they just double up on Roger Carr, the wide receiver to the left, and Burt Jones is content enough to go back, look off Roger, and then dump that little semi-screen pass.
Right now we've got third down and about 5 yards to go for the first down. The ball is in Dallas territory at the Dallas 49-yard line. Carr going wide to the left. Dowdy coming out to the right. Split back, Slidell Mitchell. And now in the backfield, we've got Don McCauley, former North Carolina star. Jones dropping back, looking, got the time, fires over the middle. It is caught by Carr. Beautiful catch at the 33-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. Hit and knocked down right there by Randy Hughes. And it's going to be a first down for the Baltimore Colts at the Dallas 33-yard line.
A typical pocket pass, 4 receivers out. Roger Carr wide on the left came in and did a square in, and he was actually double covered, but the pass was so perfect it couldn't be denied.
Dowdy going wide right. Carr's out to the left. Deep man in the eye is Lydell Mitchell. Dowdy toward the line of scrimmage. Mitchell gets the handoff from Jones. Inside the 30, spins around, dances to the 25, down to the 23-yard line. Before he finally tripped up on the play. Nice run by Lydell Mitchell. Stopped by D.D. Lewis, the right side linebacker, an 8-year veteran from Mississippi.
He made a great outside move there. They had pinched the defense, and that's what a coach likes to see, is that great ability to make some yards on your own and run to daylight.
It'll be second down, about a yard to go. Mitchell, 3 carries, 14 yards. Deep man in the eye, Lydell Mitchell. Long count. We've got contact, and the contact came from the left side, and the culprit might be Ed Too Tall Jones, a 6'9", 265-pound, 3-year man out of Tennessee State.
A lot of him to get offside. 6'10".
Ran into George Coons, the right tackle. Penalty markers down. Offside Dallas Cowboys. And the walk-off will advance the ball 5 yards upfield. Inside the 25. Down to about the 19.
First down.
And makes it. So it's going to be first down for the Baltimore Colts at the Dallas Cowboys 19-yard line. This is the Colts' second possession. It all came after a fumble. Intercepted by Stan White. Picked the ball out of midair. Dallas had fourth down and an inch to go for a first down. Wide receivers left and right, man on the slot right side. Here's a pitch out to Lydell Mitchell. He doesn't go anywhere. They had Roosevelt Leaks, the fullback, at a slot to the right, but Lydell Mitchell just could not come up with any running room as Benny Barnes came up to make the stop on the play.
There's a great defensive play for that by the corner man. It really was, because he warded off several lead blockers.
Benny Barnes is 6'1", 190-pounder, a 5-year man out of Stanford. That'll make it second down. He got about a yard. Second down, about 9 to go. Carr goes to the left. Downey comes out to the right. Again, Leaks to the slot to the right side. The only setback we've got is Lydell Mitchell. Turn around, give to Mitchell up over the middle, inside the 15-yard line, and push back to about the 17-yard line. Picked up maybe about 2.5, 3 on the play.
The Colts did a maneuver there. It's not very easy to pick up, but they had actually what the pros call trips. 3 wide receivers, a tight end, a flanker back, and a wide receiver wider than that. And the halfback that was set in the backfield was at left half, and they ran him off to the right side.
Don McCauley in the backfield now, replacing Roosevelt Leaks. As Carr goes wide to the left. In a slot to the left side, we've got Glenn Doughty. McCauley and Lydell Mitchell are the setbacks. Wide to the right is the tight end, Raymond Chester. Here we go. Jones under heavy pressure. Touchdown for a loss back at about the 32-yard line. The hit made by Tom Henderson, a 6'2", 223-pound, 2-year man out of Langston. And Jones is down, slow getting up. He was thrown down to the AstroTurf back at the 32-yard line. So that'll make it fourth down now and 18 to go.
That was out of his vision. That rush came from his left side. He was kind of glancing over the right side of the field, and then I think he sensed the heat and started to back off, but was too late by then.
Well, we'll have a field goal attempt by the Baltimore Colts. Tony Linhart will try one from the 34. It'll be a 44-yard boot. Bill Troop holding the kick up in the air. Will it have in the distance? It is no good. Kick is no good. There's a timeout with a score. The Baltimore Colts nothing. The Dallas Cowboys nothing. Now this
Weekends were made for Niccolo. Weekends were made for Niccolo. On a cloud in the sky. Weekend. Say a few friends drop by. Weekend. Let you know which beer you're going out to buy. It's Niccolo.
The bottle's the same famous shape, and the beer inside, 7 ounces of unexpected pleasure. That's why they call it Mix 7. Next time out, try it out besides. Mix 7.
Weekends were made for Niccolo. Weekends were made for Niccolo. Have a nice when you're here. Weekend. 52 times a year. Weekend. Don't forget, remember to pick up some Niccolo. Weekends were made for Niccolo.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Distributed by Utley Distributing Company.
All right, a quick look at some of the stats. First down, Baltimore 3, Dallas 3. Dallas has 30 yards rushing. Baltimore has 18. The passing department, Baltimore 2 out of 4, 21 yards. Dallas 2 for 2, 36 yards. Statistician this afternoon is Tom Williams. Our engineer is Jerry Ernest. Our producer is Pat McGurk, handling color and analysis. Tom Pagna, my name is Tony Roberts. We've got a 0-0 ball game. 3:47 left to play in the first quarter. Dallas with the ball. First down and 10. They've got it at the 27-yard line. In motion near side is Pearson. Handoff. Fumble on the play, and maybe that the Baltimore Colts recovered, and they did at the Dallas 27-yard line.
That's nothing
And
really
again, it was
tricky.
Dan White who got the loose ball. That's 2 fumble recoveries for White.
He's got a hot day going. He's got an interception and a fumble. There was nothing really tricky about that play. They were in the eye, going to run a power play, just give to the fullback. But at the moment of the handoff, the defender got an arm wrapped around him, the loose ball, and Stan White, the linebacker, fell upon it.
First and 10 for the Cowboys. The ball is at the Dallas 28-yard line. About a first and 10 for the Colts. Wide to the left goes Raymond Chester. Out to the right is Roger Carr. And his slot to the right side is Glenn Dottie. Deep man on the eye. Lydell Mitchell gets the handoff from Jones. Hits the right side and gets it down to about the 25-yard line. And that's about as far as he goes. Advance of about 3 on the play. It'll be second down and 7. We pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual. The News and Sports Radio Network.
This is Sports Radio 86, WSO in Henderson, 28 after 3 at Radio 86, 82 degrees.
Ball is at the Cowboys' 26-yard line.
That is a sticky defensive unit for the Cowboys.
Kenny Mendenhall about to snap it back to Bert Jones, who drops back to throw, looking at the 35. Has the time, fires over the middle, and is incomplete. Pass was intended for Glenn Dottie, who was being chased around the goal line by linebacker Bob Brunick. So the incomplete pass makes it third down and 8 to go for Baltimore at the Dallas 26-yard line.
And I think they really called a smart defense. They anticipated the pass that time, Tony, because they were in a strict double free safety, 5 underneath. 5 linebackers, the 2 corners, the 3 linebackers, of course, meaning 5 under, and the 2 deep safeties.
Colts are 1 for 3 on third down conversions. Jones reaching under center. Wide receivers left and right. Split backs back to throw. Drops back to the 35. Big run to the right now. At the 30. At the 25. At the 20. The 15 is shoved out of bounds. And rolls right into one of the NBC cameras there. He took quite a shot.
That was Randy Hughes on the tackle, Tony. He really belted him on the sideline.
Ted Marchibroda wanted him to come off the field, and Jones just jerked his arm away from Marchibroda. Says, I'm staying in. Goes back to the huddle. And we've got a Baltimore first down. Ball put down at the 14-yard line. Hash mark off to the right. First and 10 at the Dallas 14. On a Jones scamper to the right side. Again, the wide receivers left and right. Handoff goes to Lydell Mitchell. Can't find any running room. Takes a little step to his left. Gets in, gets it inside the 15-yard line down to about the 12 where he's wrapped up on the play. Picked up maybe about 2 yards. It'll be second down and 8 to go for Baltimore.
They sure would like to stay on the ground here and not put that ball in the air if they can get the ball running. Lydell made about 2 yards on his own after that first initial contact. Well, there's 3 receivers to his side.
Mitchell, 7 carries, 22 yards. Overloads the left side. Pitch to Mitchell. At the 15. At the 10. Fights his way down to about the 6-yard line, and he's hauled down right there by a host of Dallas Cowboys.
Well, that was
D.D. Lewis was there, so was Mel Renfro to make the hit on the play.
a great piece of strategy. They came out with 3 wide receivers and the tight end all of the time and quick flipped on a quick cadence before the Dallas defense could make the adjustment, trying to get it in, and it paid off because they got a good chunk of that yardage.
In the ball game now, Jimmy Kennedy, as Roger Carr comes out, Lydell Mitchell is out, and Don McCauley, who is very good on short yardage situations, now teams in the backfield with Roosevelt Leak. Third down, about 2 to go. Here's the handoff. Off to McCauley. He's placed inside the 5, and he finally gets down to about the 3-yard line. And again, it's Mel Renfro who makes the stop on the play. But right now, it looks like Baltimore first down. First down, goal to go for the Baltimore Colts. The ball is at the 4-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
McCauley always comes in inside that 5-yard line. He's what they call a bread and butter back.
Dowdy on a flank to the right. McCauley and Roosevelt leak to the backfield. Mendenhall about to snap it back to Burt Jones. First down, goal to go at the 4. Handoff, leak, touchdown, and a barrel over the middle. He just followed his backers right up over the middle, and Roosevelt leak just powered 4 yards for a touchdown, and the Cowboys are on the scoreboard with a minute 34 left to play in the first period.
Burt Jones is coming off with a little hang of his left shoulder as though he's injured, but I think he's got it up. It was just a quick opening trap play. We've got a couple of quick scores if we have time. The Buffalo at Tampa Bay. Buffalo is ahead 14-9. I take it back. That's the final. And Green Bay, 9. Cincinnati, 28. That's the final. Minnesota and Detroit. Minnesota's 10. Detroit, 9. And that's the final.
Here's the ball spotted down. The kick up. It might have been partially blocked. It is up, but it's good. And we've got a timeout. So with a score, the Baltimore Colts 7 and the Dallas Cowboys nothing. There's a timeout on the field. Now this for Midland.
That's CW call. CW's all over the radio.
Hey, good buddies. This here's the old rubber duck.
Hey there, Mr. Duck.
You know, someday you're going to want the best in CB radio.
I wish I had one.
So you'll get a Midland CB.
If I can afford it.
Well, why not go ahead and get a Midland CB? Right now at your Midland Convoy headquarters, you can get the best in CB at the very best price, too.
No fooling.
Those selected Midland CBs are now at special sale prices.
Midland's on sale?
You save up to 35% at participating dealers.
Hey, I can't afford it.
And remember, when you get a Midland CB, you get a Convoy buddy. So look for the Midland Convoy headquarters near you.
There's one right up ahead.
Hurry on in.
All right.
Tell them CW sent you.
I will.
And don't miss the special sale prices on selected Midland CB.
I won't.
Those Midland's all the CB you're ever going to need.
That's a big 10-4.
Hey, good buddy.
Huh?
Left keys in the car.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, CW. Wait a minute. How'd you do that?
A minute 34 left to play in the first period. In following a fumble recovery, the Baltimore Colts have gone 28 yards, 7 plays, and they're out in front 7-0 on a 4-yard romp up the middle by Roosevelt Link, the all-time leading ground gator from the University of Texas down at Austin. And so the Colts draw first blood. They're out in front here by a score of 7-0. And we're ready for the kickoff. The run-up and the boot. Coming downfield, it's deep. It'll be taken at the goal line. At the 5, the 10, the 15. At the 17-yard line, and hit. Butch Johnson is dropped at the 17-yard line. And the guy that made the hit on the play was Ron Lee, who's a running back on the special teams. 17-yard return. Dallas has the ball. First down and 10. And they'll put it in play at their own 17-yard line.
Tony, I'm trying to spot Burt Jones down on the sideline, but I can't quite pick him out of the crowd.
First and 10 for the Cowboys. Roger Staubach is the quarterback. Laidlaw at full. Deep man in the eye is Edison. They shift out of the eye. They've got the slot to the left side. The turnaround, the give goes to Laidlaw, and he's going to be hit and dropped in the backfield. And the stop on that play made by Joe Irving, the 6'4", 254-pound, 4-year man from Syracuse. That front four, Freddie Cook, Mike Barnes, Joe Irving, and John Dutton, called the sack pack. They led the NFL in sacks last year, something like 59.
Well, I suppose Roger's going to put the ball in the air if he can get a little working room.
Lost the yard. It's going to be second down and 11. Charles Young is now on the tail. Here's Staubach back to throw. Looking, throws to Young right down at the 10-yard line. 50 at the 20. At the 25-yard line. And tripped up and dropped at about the 27-yard line.
A little screen pass. He had 3 receivers out, went to the pocket, made it look good, looked to his left, and then dumped it off to his back on the right side.
Lloyd Mumford made the hit on the play, but it's a Dallas first down as they get the ball up to, let's call it the 28-yard line. First down and 10 for the Cowboys. They trail 7-0 as the clock winds down. We've got 15 seconds left to play in the first period. Wide to the left is Pearson. Out to the right, we've got Golden Richards. Here's the fake handoff. Staubach at the 20, firing down the right sideline. Caught at the 40, the 45, the 50, the 45. At the 40-yard line, and puts the ball at about the 39-yard line. That's Doug Dennison, who came out of the backfield.
That's the second time we've seen that play, Tony, and all it really is a little fake to the left halfback in a divided back backfield, faking and holding over the middle, and then the right half sneaking out of the backfield and the second receiver.
That's the end of the first quarter with a score. The Baltimore Colts 7 and the Dallas Cowboys nothing.
Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob. On a cloud in the sky. Weekend. Trade a few friends drop by. Weekend. Let you know which beer you're going out to buy. It's Michelob.
Maybe this would be a good weekend to try Mix 7. Mick from Michelob. 7 for 7 ounces of unexpected pleasure. Look for Mix 7 in the gold 6-pack.
Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob. Have a nice one, you hear? Weekend. 52 times a year. Weekend. Don't forget, remember to pick up some Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Distributed by Utley Distributing Company.
Exciting offense. They can move the football, and the only thing that's really stopped the Dallas Cowboys was their inability to hang on to the football. They've given up 2 fumbles, but they're on the move now, and they're trailing by 7 points. Tony Roberts doing the play-by-play, and Tom Pagna doing a little color for you, trying to tell you what they're doing out there.
Well, that time they hooked up for 33 yards. Edison and Staubach and Roger the Dodger, who hasn't had to scramble much this afternoon in the early going. 4 for 4, 81 yards. And he's right on the beam. Top of the second quarter. Ball is at the 39-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. First period, the Cowboys fumbled twice. Colts recovered both times. Now they shift out of the eye. In motion toward the line of scrimmage, Pearson on the reverse from Dennison. Pearson may throw it. Right side, long downfield, got a man, Richard, touchdown! A reverse from Joe Pearson to goal to Richards, a touchdown!
See if I can reconstruct that for you, if you can hear it. They have 2 wide receivers, one on either side. One comes in motion. They pitch the ball to the opposite halfback, who is running towards the man in motion. He hands it off to him on a deep reverse, or at least it looks like a deep reverse. And the deep reverse man pulls up and throws a long bomb into the end zone. A real dipsy-doodle, as they say.
Well, they went 83 yards in 4 plays. Here's the boat up in the air, and it is good. We've got a brand new ball game.
The alumni will love that.
Now with a score. The Dallas Cowboys 7 and the Baltimore Colts 7. There's a timeout on the field. Now this for International Harvester.
There's an America out there most people never see. But you can when you own a rugged 4-wheel drive Scout. Explore the back roads, discover a new fishing stream, go hunting, or take your family on a real outdoor camping trip. And now is the time to buy the 1976 4-wheel drive Scout of your choice. Because every international Scout dealer is ready to deal, and deal big. So don't miss out, America. Take a test drive today and get a 4-wheel drive price you just can't afford to pass by.
Scout the America, others pass by.
Check your yellow pages for the International Harvester dealer nearest you. He's got a great selection of 4-wheel drive Scouts in stock, and he's ready to offer you a money-saving deal right now.
The Cowboys score in the first play of the second quarter. Drew Pearson to Golden Richards, 39 yards. The drive goes 83 yards, 4 plays. Brand new ball game at 7 off. And that took just 8 seconds. And Richards got behind the defenders and got it in the end zone. Pretty good pass by a wide receiver.
That's a triple stager. Handoff, reverse, and long bomb.
Here we go with Herrera. Ball teed up at the 35, gets the foot into it. It'll come down right around the 6. Howard Stevens at the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, at the 30-yard line, and knocked down at about the 32-yard line. Tackle was made by the Cowboys' Jay Salty, who's the backup tight end. 25-yard return. So it'll be Baltimore's ball, first down and 10. at their own 31-yard line. The Buick Motor Division of General Motors Corporation will award a 1977 Buick Regal to the 1976 NFL Player of the Year, as selected by the sports writers and broadcasters who cover the NFL game. Winner will be announced over the Mutual Broadcasting System during the first-round NFL Championship playoff games December 18 and 19. Jones back to pass. Penalty markers everywhere. They'll never get the playoff. It's going to be illegal procedure against the Batimore Colts. It'll be a 5-yard walk-off against the Colts. So instead of 1st and 10 at the 31, it'll be 1st and 15. And the ball will be brought back to the 26-yard line. Game tied at 7 apiece. 14:41 to go in the first half. The Cowboys and the Colts. Cowboys got a two-way tie with St. Louis and Washington in the NFC East. The Colts on top of the AFC East. Bert Jones reaching under center. Wide receivers left and right. Pitch out to Lydell Mitchell at the 20. Cuts it at the 25. Flies to about the 29-yard line before being wrapped up on the play. So Lydell, circling wide, cutting back, gets the ball up just about the 30-yard line before being stopped on the play. Picked up 4 to 5 yards on the penalty. Be a second down and 11 to go for Baltimore at their own 30.
Just a good screen down, a good, maybe good run action pass down.
Lydell's carried 9 times, 31 yards. Wide left is Carr, slot left is Dottie. Split back, here's a snap to Bert Jones. Back to throw. Looking, being pressured. Tried to get away from the tackler. Can't. He's going to be wrapped up and dropped back at the 19-yard line. Tremendous pressure came from the right side that time. Harvey Martin, Ed Jones, Jethro Pugh. They were all in there, and they wrap him up back at the 19, making the 20-yard line. A loss on the play.
I really have to admire him, though, Tony. As he looked down the field, he checked off to his left and was going to hit his flare back. And he saw the flare back in quick jeopardy because it would have been an interception ball, and then he chose to eat the ball. It takes a lot of courage on a young quarterback's part.
The Cowboys now have 2 sacks for 27 yards. Third down, 20 yards to go. But the Colts back at their 20-yard line. They send Lydell Mitchell in the slot to the left. Carr is wide left. Dottie wide to the right. Handoff goes to McCauley at the 20, the 25, and he gets up to about the 28, 29-yard line before being stopped on the play. He was hit and dropped by Charlie Waters and by Cliff Harris. So that's going to make it 4th down. The ball is at the 29-yard line. They'll have about 12 yards to go. The 65,101 capacity crowd here applauds the Dallas defense. And we'll have David Lee back to boot. David Lee back to kick. Deep man is Butch Johnson for the Dallas Cowboys, standing at his 19-yard line. Chest high snap, big rush, and they almost blocked that one. The ball will hit at the 39-yard line. Covered by the Colts, takes the Baltimore bounce, continues to bounce. Now bounces Dallas' way up to the 30-yard line, and the Cowboys will take it over. 1st and 10 at their own 30, and a big charge from the left side by Pat Donovan, a tackle for the Dallas Cowboys, and he almost blocked it. A 41-yard boot, no return. Dallas will put it in play 1st and 10 at their own 30.
I think the scouting report of the Cowboys must have shown the Colts on their punt because they didn't make any bones about it. There were 10 people on the line of scrimmage, and they put a mad rush on. It was, of all things, obvious, but that one man leaked through, and I think the kicker did a superb job by avoiding him. It looked for all the money that it was going to be blocked.
12:42 left to play in the first half. Game tied at 7 apiece. Here a special account of the Muhammad Ali Ken Norton Heavyweight Championship fight, Tuesday night, September 28th on Mutual Sports. This is not, nor will there be any other live or recreated blow-by-blow coverage. Only the special radio account of the fight with interviews and a description of the action of each round immediately at the end of the round. That's Tuesday night, September 28th, over many of these Mutual network stations. So Dallas scored, the Baltimore Colts scored first. They went 4 yards. Roosevelt leak up the middle. 7 plays, 28 yards following a fumble recovery. And took a 7-0 lead, but on the first play of the second quarter, Drew Pearson threw a bomb, And at the receiving end was Golden Richards, 39 yards on the play, and they tied it up. And that's where it stands right now. Cowboys with the ball. They shift from a deuce backfield into an I. Slot left, now the slot man in motion, Pearson to the right side. Here's Staubach on the handoff, and Dennison doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Good surge by the right side of the Colts defensive line. And the hit is made right there at about the old 28-yard line. Joe Irving and John Dutton on the play for the Baltimore Colts. A loss of two. It'll be second down and 12. Here come the Cowboys out of the huddle. Pearson out to the right. Richards wide left. Laidlaw, the front man in the I. They shift out of the I. Charge Young down the backfield. Roger back to throw. Staubach over the middle, and he hits his tight end, but he's going to be dropped immediately right around the 33-yard line. Quick drop and a flip way over the middle. And Billy Joe Dupree was there to grab the ball at the 34-yard line, but he was muscled to the ground immediately by Jackie Wallace, the free safety, a 6'3", 198-pound, 3-year veteran from Arizona.
You know, the Cowboys do a disconcerting thing. When they stem their backs, move them from one formation to the other, they also pre-shift the line with a little bob, all of them in unison. And the thing that's disconcerting is they'll go on their first sound sometimes and catch you off guard.
All right, third down, about 6 yards to go. Now the Cowboys, for the first time this afternoon, going to the shotgun. Staubach back to throw. He's got the time. Looking. Penalty mark by the play. Running up to 30. 35 at the 40-yard line. And comes to a slide at the 45-yard line. Right now, he's safe at third. Not a bad slide for Roger. Must have played some baseball somewhere along the way. But apparently the preliminary signal is holding against the Dallas Cowboys. And that's going to set them back a chunky yards. As Staubach kind of spurred up the middle, got the first down yardage. Would have been a first down at the 45-yard line.
Got to laugh about your comment on the slide because somebody, and football coaches included, have coached that young man to go feet first when you have to take that hit.
All right, the Colts take Jim Chiansky out of the backfield, and they insert Ray Oldham, a defensive back, 5'11", 192, a 4-year man from Middle Tennessee State. So in essence, they're using the extra back, or what they call the nickel defense. Wide left, Richards, out to the right, Drew Pearson. Billy Joe Dupree, the tight end, is on the right side. Now he shifts into a slot. Here's Staubach on the handoff. The ball going to Young at the 20, the 25, at the 30, at the 33-yard line. And he has finally stopped at the 33-yard line as he comes from the left side. Circles all the way to the right. And the stop is made by Darrell Luce, the young man who played his college ball down here at Baylor.
The conception of that play was kind of unique because they had three receivers again to the right side and Roger in the spread formation. When the ball was directly snapped, the three receivers took off, and of course they have to be followed. Roger gave an inside handoff, a front handoff to the left wingback coming around.
So with fourth down and 6 yards to go, we've got a punting situation here for the Dallas Cowboys, and Danny White, who flipped at Arizona State, is back to boot, standing at the 18-yard line, waiting for the snap. Howard Stevens, a lone safety. White gets up beauty up in the air. It's high, it's deep. Stevens makes the catch, and he is thrown to the ground immediately. Stevens made the catch, and he was hit and dropped right in his track by the Dallas Cowboys. Benny Barnes, the quarterback, who was right on the play. And the Colts have put it in play. First down and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
Dan Dickel made a heck of a charge on that ball trying to get to the kicker. He broke through the upright back in the backfield of the Cowboys and just about got his hand to the ball. There's some hard hitting going on that field.
56-yard boost. Let's put the ball at the 17-yard line for the Colts. The game is tied at 7-7, second quarter action. Hand off to Lydell Mitchell from Burt Jones. Skips over one tackler, gets past the 20, and flies up to about the 23-yard line before being stopped on the play. As Cliff Harris makes the stop.
Just another isolation play, a good open field running play for Lydell Mitchell. Split him out of there, give him a little daylight, and let him bleed yardage.
Lydell gets 7. He's got 10 carries, a total of 37 yards now. The ball is at the 23-yard line. Second down, long 3 to go. Jones long toss, turns around, gives to Mitchell again, the workhorse. Gets up past the 25 to about the 26-yard line on the play. And again, it's Charlie Waters to make the hit, but there's a penalty marker on the far side of the field, back at the 23-yard line. Penalty marker on the play.
Got a chance to give some scores here while they're making off the penalty. New Orleans 13, Kansas City 17. That's in the fourth quarter. Oakland 14, Houston 13 in the fourth quarter. Cleveland at Denver. Cleveland is 0. Denver 17. That's just the starting of the first quarter. New York Giants 10. Los Angeles nothing in the first quarter. St. Louis 10. San Diego 13 in the second quarter. San Francisco 17. Seattle 7 in the first quarter.
Second down, 8 yards to go was a motion penalty. Baltimore second penalty. They've got 10 yards in penalties. Dallas 3 penalties, 21 yards. Hand off to Mitchell, right side, 15, 20, 25 at the 30. Spins. He gets up to the 33-yard line before being hustled out of bounds on the play. Ed Too Tall Jones was there. As were the quarterbacks, Charlie Waters.
Well, he gets
Mark
right.
Washington also on the play on the far sideline.
They guessed right on that short yardage that they were going to pinch. They did, and they elected to sweep, and he had just enough speed to turn the corner on him.
So it's the first down on the route by Mitchell up the right side to the 33-yard line. And the Colts have a bit more breathing room. 9:35 left to play. In the first half, the game tied at 7. First Jones back to throw. Looking. Throwing down the right sideline. It's good for Dowdy, and it dropped it at the 28-yard line. Glenn Dowdy had it hit him right around the numbers, off his hands and out of bounds. Incomplete pass, and that's the second time he's dropped one racing down the sideline. And time he might have been bothered by just having to look up into the sun. I was that end of the field.
I was just thinking that, Tony, because that's exactly where it hits on that end of the field. And the one thing that I could see is they really gave him insurance money that time. There were 2 wide receivers, one on each side, and they are the only people that went out there giving Burt Jones all the time they possibly can, maximum protection.
Jones 2 for 6, 21 yards. Roger, the Dodgers got 5 for 5, 87 yards. Here it is, second down, handoff. And it goes to Lydell Mitchell. Breaks one tackle, breaks another. Just past the 35, the 40, up to about the 42-yard line. So a second and 10, Mitchell gets a big eat on the play. That'll make it third down and 2 to go for the Baltimore Colts. Right around their 42.
That's a great piece of running that Lydell Mitchell just turned in. He took that pitch out, and he could see that it was overrun by the defense, stepped inside of a block, spun off of one guy, and cut back against the grain, and bled 8 yards out of nothing.
Jimmy Kennedy replaces wide receiver Roger Carr. Mitchell gets a breather. Don McCauley, hard running back, good man on short yardage, is now in their turnaround to give, and it goes to Roosevelt Leaks, and Roosevelt Leaks tries left guard, and maybe got it up to the 42, and that's about it. Maybe as far as the 43-yard line, and we may have a measurement here. It's going to be very close.
That was a nice sequence call because the time before they were in identical, the same formation, got in tight and swept. This time it was the same formation, but they gave to the other side, to the left side.
And they signal first down, Baltimore Colts. Mitchell now has carried the ball 12 times, a total of 61 yards. He's a workhorse in the Colts ground game. First and 10, the ball is at the 43-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. The game is tied at 7 apiece. High formation. Leaks the front man in the eye. Jones rolls to the right, looking, throwing. It is caught by Downey at the 45-yard line, and he is hustled out of bounds on the far sideline at the 45 by Mark Washington. 5'11", 186-pound, 7-year veteran from Morgan State.
That was just a semi-roll on Burt Jones's part, and a down, hard down, and just a quick out at about 12 yards by Glenn Dowdy. Well executed. One-on-one.
First and 10 now at the Dallas 45-yard line. Third down conversions, Baltimore 5 of 8, Dallas 1 out of 3. Jones gets the snap, turns around, gives it to Lydell, and Lydell finds Ruff going at right tackle. Gets it inside the 45, down to about the 43-yard line, and that's it. Gain of a couple on the play. It'll be second down and 8. We're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual in Houston Sports Radio Network.
And this is Sports Radio 86, where you hear exciting football on the weekends here on WSON Henderson.
Wide to the left comes Dowdy. Out to the right is Roger Carr. Split back. Lydell Mitchell, Roosevelt Leaks. Here's Jones handing off to Mitchell. Mitchell rather cuts in, gets to about the 41-yard line, and the hit is made on the play by the Cowboy linebacker, the middle linebacker, Leroy Jordan. a 14-year veteran, 6'1", 220-pounder out of Alabama.
They had the makings of a really good sweep. They had cleared both guards, and it looked like he was going to turn the corner in some backside pursuit by, as Tony says, Leroy Jordan. And the backside tackle, Harvey Martin, got in on it.
So now it's 3rd down and 5 to go. The ball is at the Dallas 40-yard line. Slot right, wide receiver left. Deuce backfield, back to throw Jones. Looking, fires. Pass is incomplete at the 35-yard line. The pass was thrown hard and a little bit too low for Don McCauley, who's come out of the backfield to handle. And that's going to make it 4th down and 5 at the Dallas 40, and that sets up the punting situation. We've had some great punts this afternoon by David Lee and by Danny White of the Colts and Cowboys. Lee's a big one, 6'5", 224-pounder. Puts Johnson back at the 9-yard line. Lee's averaged 46.5 for his 2 boots, standing at his own 45-yard line. Was a tremendous rush put on him the last time. Here's the boot angling toward the sideline. It'll hit out of bounds somewhere around the 20-yard line. See where they put it in play. Not a particularly good kick. And they're going to say it's the 18-yard line. A 22-yard boot, and Dallas takes over 1st and 10 at its own 18. With a score, the Baltimore Colts 7 and the Dallas Cowboys 7. There's a timeout. Now this for Lazy Boy and Teamsters.
Hi, Joe Namath here. You know what band music means to me? It means halftime. Relax. Of course, the best way to do that is in a Lazy Boy chair. Lazy Boy makes all kinds of comfortable recliners in all kinds of styles. Comfort and style. That must be why Lazy Boy is America's favorite chair. Lazy Boy, your favorite is on sale now, so march on over and get it.
Stacy's daddy is an auditor. Her mother is a teacher. Her brother is a policeman. When Stacy grows up, she has a great ambition. She wants to become a nurse. Maybe like her family, she'll become a member of the Teamsters Union, joining more than 2 million Americans in a variety of jobs. Don't be surprised at all the job classifications Teamsters are. Chances are you're like many people. You're not aware of all the representation Teamsters do. Yes, Teamsters are truck drivers, too.
Cowboys with the ball. 1st down and 10 yards to go. They've got it at their own 18-yard line. In motion to the far side. Drew Pearson. Staubach hands it off. Dennison to the right side. And he is hit from behind. Great pursuit by Joe Irving, the 6'4", 254-pound, 4-year veteran from Syracuse, the defensive right tackle. So Irving makes the stop on the play. They'll put the ball down right around the line of scrimmage. Again, a reminder, Lazy Boy Chair Company will award a Lazy Boy recliner to the outstanding offensive and outstanding defensive players in today's game. We'll announce the winners at the conclusion of today's contest. Tomorrow night on Mutual, the Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles at Philadelphia. George Allen goes for his 100th NFL coaching victory. They shift out of the eye. Staubach back to throw. Looking. Going upfield. Has a man. Caught it. 25 and out of bounds. The catch was made by the Cowboys. Preston Pearson, who came into the backfield, and he caught it, got behind the defender, and he's out of bounds somewhere around the 37-yard line, and it's a 1st down for Dallas.
You know, that's a beautifully executed play on the quarterback's part because it was a timing thing. It was a 3-man flood pattern. The fullback, the right halfback, and the split end all to the right, away from the strength of the formation. He just came back to the pocket, waited till the flare man and everybody cleared, and lobbed it up.
So it's 1st down and 10. Dennison and Laidlaw, the setbacks now. Pearson back toward the line of scrimmage. Handoff goes to Dennison. Finds a hole up to the roof. Tries to pass the 40 and gets up to the 45-yard line before being stopped on the play by the Baltimore linebackers, Jim Chayonsky and Darrell Luce. But he gobbles up a big chunk of yardage, just about 8 or 9 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down and short yardage for the Cowboys at their own 46-yard line. Staubach has thrown the ball 6 times, completed all 6, 106 yards. And remember, he came into the game as the number 1 quarterback in the National Football Conference, hitting 68% of his passes, 34 out of 50. Cowboys shift out of the eye. Here's Starbuck turning around, gives the ball to Young. He's got a blocker in front of him. At the 40, at the 45, he is hit, and he's finally ridden out of bounds on the far side of the field as the free safety, Jackie Wallace, finally runs him out of bounds. And they did not get enough yardage for the first down. They picked up about a half yard on the play, so it'll be third down with about a half yard to go for the first down. The ball is at the Dallas 47-yard line.
Tony, what a tremendous block, number 68, which is Herbert Scott, the left guard for the Dallas Cowboys. He just wheeled out of there like a Sherman tank rounding the corner.
All right. Flank on the right. Double tight end. Hands. Big hand off by Starbuck. Rolling to the right. Going to throw that ball. Caught at the 50. At the 48-yard line is grabbed by Billy Joe Dupree. And the stop is saved by Darrell Lewis, but it's a Cowboy first down in Baltimore territory. They had double tight end. The flanker to the right. Big hand off. Starbuck rolled to the right. Fired that ball to the big guy, Billy Joe Dupree. And they've got a first down at the Baltimore 47-yard line.
You know, the thing that makes that play work was Dupree didn't come out right away. He slam blocked. That is, he made a fake block into the lineman, and that throws the linebacker. Another linebacker, when he does repass, is a step late.
Coming into the game, Billy Joe Dupree was the number 3 receiver in the NFC. He had 10 catches coming into this game. Gordon Richards in the slot now moves to the left side. Starbuck is back to throw. First and 10. Fires. The ball is caught. 35. Fumble on the play. The Colts have it at the 35. At the 40-yard line. At the 45-yard line. It's picked up by Bruce Ware. The 6'1", 198, 5-year man from American International. And one of the Cowboys shaking up on the play back at the 37-yard line.
Flag on the play. And I think it's after the
penalty
recovery.
marker on the play.
I think the penalty was called after the recovery.
Right now there's a timeout on the field with a score. The Dallas Cowboys 7, the Baltimore Colts 7. Now this word.
Weekend Sunday for Niccolo. Weekend Sunday for Niccolo. On a cloud in the sky. Weekend. Say a few friends drop by. Weekend. Let you know which day you're going out to fly. It's Niccolo.
The bottle's the same famous shape, and the beer inside, 7 ounces of unexpected pleasure. That's why they call it Mix 7. Next time out, try it out beside Mix 7.
Weekend Sunday for Niccolo. Weekend Sunday for Niccolo. Have a night when you're here. Weekend. 52 times a year. Weekend. Don't forget, remember to pick up some Niccolo. Weekend Sunday for Niccolo.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Distributed by Utley Distributing Company.
The injured player was Scott Laidlaw. And he's had a rough afternoon. He's fumbled twice. The Cowboys have now fumbled 3 times. And Baltimore's picked off all 3. They've got it first and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Cowboys lost the ball twice on fumbles in the first period. Now once again here in the third. Game is tied at 7 apiece. Rather in the second quarter. Thank you, Tom. 4:33 left to go. Deadlocked at 7 apiece. Bert Jones waiting for the snap from Mendenhall. Bert bounce back to throw at the 20. Looking, has the time. Down the sideline, intended for Carr, and it's incomplete. There's a penalty marker on the play, and the ref is going to be against Cliff Harris. There's going to be a roughness call. Harris put a shoulder into Carr after the ball had sailed over his outstretched arm. And it's going to be a wrap against Cliff Harris at the 47-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. And the call down was a good one by the official because it's telling the players, hey, we're going to control this football game. No cheap shots. Needs to be done. I agree with you 100%. That's 2 really tough breaks. One of them involuntary and one voluntary.
That fumble of Laidlaw's and this back-to-back long penalty puts the Colts in position to play some free football.
The penalty is marked off from the 30-yard line, so it's first and 10 for Baltimore at their own 45. Jones turning around, giving that ball to his tailback, and he runs right into the middle and into a host of Dallas Cowboys ready to wait. Make the stop on the play. Ed Jones, Jeffro Gill, Larry Cole, Harvey Martin.
That Martin's got to be quick. He caught that thing from the backside. Of course, they're in the eye, and it was an isolation play over the middle, but to catch it from the backside, a lineman is, from a defensive end standpoint, has really got to be quick.
Lydell's got 15 carries, a total of 67 yards. He's been the real workhorse this afternoon. Down McCauley and Lydell Mitchell in the backfield. Raymond Chester comes wide to the left. Downey in a slot to the right, wide to the right is Carr. Back to throw. Jones looks, fires over the middle. Caught. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. And Don McCauley gets it down to the 8-yard line. Don McCauley coming out of the backfield like a bullet. Jones with a quick drop. Snap throw over the middle. And they're going to split the ball down at the 10-yard line. And another Dallas Cowboys shake it up on the play.
You know, that was just a super throw because what happened was they double covered the wide receivers, especially Carr to the left of Burt Jones. And Burt got McCauley circling, that is, right from the right halfback position, just going right ahead and kind of bending in and outrunning the linebacker. And a perfect throw caught him in full stride. And only a great play by one of the secondary people I'm trying to identify saved a touchdown.
Well, Mark Washington is the player who was shaken up on the play. He's being attended to back at the 9-yard line, and right now the length of the football inside the 10. So for the Baltimore Colts, a 44-yard pass play from Burt Jones to Don McCauley coming out of the backfield. That's going to give them first and 10, first and goal to go at the 10-yard line. Don't forget, tomorrow night the Redskins and the Eagles over most of these mutual stations. Next Sunday afternoon, Tom and I will be down in Miami, Florida. Can't be much warmer down in Miami than it is here, Tom. We'll have the Rams and the Miami Dolphins, and then a week from tomorrow night, it'll be Pittsburgh at Minnesota, and that should be something. Plus the fact that next Saturday, Notre Dame game on Mutual, when they take on the Spartans at Michigan State. Notre Dame a 48-0 winner yesterday. Michigan State a tie, 34-34. Don't forget, October 9th, Mutual's going to take you to Ann Arbor for the traditional Big Ten clash between Michigan and Michigan State. Record books go out the window for this one. Join Don Cricky and Pat Sheridan for the fireworks October 9 over most of these Mutual network stations. Here at Texas Stadium, first down and goal to go for the Baltimore Colts at the 10-yard line. Line is set. Lydell Mitchell in the tail. Roosevelt Leak, the front man in the eye. Turn around, give to Mitchell over the middle, and he charges down to about the 6-yard line before being stopped on the play. Looking for running room, doing a little dancing. Larry Cole was the man who made the stop. 6'5", 250-pound, 9-year veteran from Hawaii. But Lydell charges ahead, picks up a tough 3.5 yards. It'll be second down, goal to go for Baltimore at the Dallas 6-yard line. Wide left, we've got Roger Carr. Slot to the left side. Double slot left. Roosevelt Leaks and Glenn Downey. Here's quarterback sneak. Touchdown! Quick shot, quarterback sneak. Beautiful call. Oh, I'll tell you, he picked him right out of the Lone Star State on that one.
He helped himself. It was just a brilliant call. What he did was he got everybody, guess they'd be in man coverage, and he got everybody that was in his backfield off to one side. They had a double slot left with a wide receiver left, one back in the backfield, one tight end to the right. That takes care of all the man coverage people, and on a quick cadence, kind of waltzed into the end zone.
Well, they went 70 yards, 4 plays. There was one penalty in there.
How the tide turns. That fumble by Laidlaw, which was apparently a first down, turned into the Colts ball and another score.
Tony Linhart will fire the PAT. Here comes the soccer style kick up in the air, and it is cut. So the score, Baltimore Colts 14, the Dallas Cowboys 7. There's a timeout on the field. Now this for Buick.
Buy a Buick Opal any time, and you get a sensational little car. One that's comfortable, fun to drive, built by Isuzu, and equipped with things like a 4-cylinder overhead cam Hemi engine, a short-throw 4-speed manual transmission, plus reclining bucket seats, tinted glass, and rack and pinion steering. But for those of you who buy one between now and October 31st, there's a special offer that goes with it. Buick will reimburse you for 200 gallons of gasoline. And with 200 gallons of gas in the new Opal, you can do a lot of driving. Of course, your mileage may vary, but at the estimated EPA city mileage alone of 23 miles per gallon, that's 4,600 miles. And on the highway, Opal's EPA estimate is 36 miles per gallon. Not bad, hmm? The Buick Opal gas offer. See your Buick Opel dealer soon for details and make your best deal. You'll get a great little car that gives you what you pay for. And 200 gallons of gas from Buick. In California, EPA estimates are lower.
Well, Tony Linhart just put the foot into one and got it deep into the end zone, about 3 yards deep. The Cowboys elected not to run it out, so they'll take it over first down and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
One of the things that really jumps at me is how much and how well that ball has moved all over the field. Two potent offenses, two aggressive defenses. We're seeing a whale of a game again.
Cowboys 47 yards rushing, 9 for 9 passing, 161 yards. Colts 107 yards rushing, 4 to 10, 77 yards passing. Well, now, the Cowboys trail 14-7. Staubach back to throw. Pass caught by Richards at the 31-yard line. Juggled it for a moment. Hit and knocked down right around the 31. Stan White is there to make the hit on the play. But it's enough for Dallas first down. Also coming up from the defensive secondary was free safety Jackie Wallace. But 11 yards from Roger Staubach to Golden Richards, who circled back over the middle.
It had to be a perfect throw, and he did. He absolutely made a perfect throw of an in pattern to the flanker.
And Roger, the Dodger, is perfect this afternoon. Dodger back to throw. Pass deflected, almost intercepted. Oh. Big rush was put on by Joe Elman and by John Dutton. The pass was deflected and almost intercepted by the defensive end who dropped off on the play. Freddie Cook, a 6'4", 246-pound three-year man out of southern Mississippi.
You'll never wear gloves again.
Staubach is now 9 for 10, 132 yards. The worst in the Cowboy bench. Laidlaw's possible bruised ribs. They'll check further. Washington had the wind knocked out of him.
You know, that's a lineman's dream, Tony, to get a deflected ball and have a clear field to run, and I swear he's got some padding on his hands after he dropped it. He looked at his hands as though I'll never wear these things again.
Well, we've got the 2-minute warning, a minute 56 seconds left to play. The ball is at the 31-yard line. It'll be second down and 10 yards to go for the Dallas Cowboys, and we are seeing for the third consecutive Sunday one whale of a football game. And if you happen to be joining us for the very first time, some of the games that we have on our schedule, for example, next week, the Rams and the Dolphins down at Miami. The following week, the Dolphins and the Colts, which could be a battle for first place in the AFC East, up at Baltimore. The Dallas Cowboys and St. Louis Cardinals at St. Louis. Cincinnati and Houston at Houston. Dallas and the Redskins at Washington. Detroit, Minnesota, up at Bloomington. Miami, Pittsburgh, and the Steel City. Washington, St. Louis at St. Louis. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Buffalo at Miami. Washington at Dallas. All Sunday afternoon NFL football fair over most of these mutual network stations. And I don't know who planned the schedule, but he couldn't have done a better job. That one's going to be tough to top any year. Second down and 10 to go for the Dallas Cowboys. Golden Richards out to the right, Drew Pearson to the left. They go into the shotgun now. Staubach now has Robert Newhouse in motion to the left side. Staubach back to throw, looking, fires to the sideline. It's going to be caught. He's going to be hit and knocked down at about the 35-yard line. The stop was made by Bruce Laird. And the receiver on the play was Robert Newhouse, 5'10", 205-pound, 5-year veteran who played at Houston.
They do some very complex things out of their formation. That time, Newhouse was set at a fullback spot in an up position. Staubach stemmed back. Newhouse stepped up, went in motion laterally, and eventually was the guy that was the wide receiver on the left-hand side.
Cowboys have called for another timeout. They give Newhouse the 31-yard line. The gain on the play is about 5. It'll be third down with about 5 yards to go. Dallas receivers, 8 different receivers have caught the ball. So Rodgers really kind of spread it around this afternoon. Talking about Staubach, we said he came into the game hitting 34 out of 50, 68% completion average. Billy Kilmer is next in line with a 57% completion average. And Rodgers been averaging about almost 10 yards per pass. He's thrown a couple of touchdown passes. He's only had 1 intercepted. This afternoon, he's 10 out of 11. So far this year, he's at 44 out of 61.
We've got some final scores here. 14 Buffalo, Tampa Bay 9. That's a final. Green Bay 7, Cincinnati 28 is a final. Another final. Minnesota 10, Detroit 9. New England 30, Pittsburgh 27. That's a final and an upset. I'll repeat it. New England 30, Pittsburgh 27. The New York Jets nothing, Miami 16. That's a final.
And it must be noted here that Tampa Bay did score this week. Their first time. They're down and 5 to go for the Cowboys. Roger in the shotgun, back to throw, looking, may have to run it. Penalty markers all over the plate. He's going to be dropped for a loss back at the 30-yard line. And anytime that happens, you can just about bet your bottom dollar it's going to be a holding call against the offensive team. That time, Roger had nowhere to go up the middle. He was pressured. Mike Barnes was there, so was Irving and John Dutton. And that's going to holding call, and it's going to be declined by the Baltimore Colts. We've got a minute 36 left to play, and that's going to set up the punting situation. And Danny White, the 6'2", 180-pounder, rookie, drafted in the third round back in 1974, played a couple of years in the Wiffle League out of Arizona State, is back to boot. He's punted once, and it was a boomer, 56 yards. With a warm, cloudy, overcast day in Irving, Texas. Light drizzle now. Here's the boot. It's high in the air. Howard Stevens racing over toward the right side. Will not try to field the ball. It hits right around the 33-yard line and goes out of bounds. Right at the 33-yard line, and the Colts will take over. First and 10 at the 33.
I think one of the things that the Cowboys don't want to have happen with a minute 28 seconds left before the half is to get them in any kind of position for a field goal range or give up a cheap score, because that would really be a psychological letdown. They're just a score out of it right now, and it'll be a good game in the second half, obviously, but they don't want to do anything cheap here.
A baseball note, the Philadelphia Phillies beat Montreal this afternoon, and it's all over for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Another wait till next year. Cooling off considerably here at Texas Stadium. Bert Jones back to throw at the 25. Pass to McCauley. Takes it about the 38-yard line. Gets it up to the 40-yard line. Stopped there, a gain on the play of about 7 yards. And it'll be second down and 3 yards to go.
As I suppose the Cowboys playing it safe gave a 3-man rush, 5 linebackers across the field, and a 3-deep safety.
Here's Jones on the handoff to Lydell Mitchell off right tackle. Barges past the 40 to 45. Gets it up to about the 47 to the 48-yard line before he stops on the play. And the Baltimore Colts are going to call for a timeout. Bob Rooney making the stop on the play for the Dallas Cowboys. The word from the Cowboys bench, Roger Staubach has broken the Cowboys club record for consecutive completions. He hit his last 2 last week against New Orleans. 9 straight today. That gives him 11 in a row. And Staubach, Meredith, and Morton shared the old record of 10 straight.
Well, he's done nothing but break records since the day he stepped on a gridiron. He's marvelous. And I get the feeling that we're looking at the mirror reflection in Burt Jones. Maybe 10 years younger, but nevertheless a great quarterback.
Well, Coach Ted Marshall said that Jones has matured much more rapidly than he ever expected him to. He's in his 4th year. And I thought that in the little brouhaha between Coach Ted Marshall and the front office, that Burt Jones really became the team leader. He stepped in and fought for the coach and decided, hey, this is our man. He took us from 2-12 to the playoffs last year. We need him, and we're going to fight for him. And he had his say and won out.
Well, they did rally behind him, and that's saying something. Your quarterback and your leader.
Incidentally, Robert Irsay, the owner of the Baltimore Colts, has been invited back to the practice field and the locker room, etc., by the Baltimore Colts players. So all was very, very happy up in Baltimore. Here's Jones, dumping off. McCauley's got it at the 40, to 45 to 50. Dallas territory at the 45 to 40. Still on his feet, knocked out at the 36-yard line.
Boy, he is clever. That's a great call. He knows they're going to be in that defense. I talked about a 3-man rush and 5 underbackers. He let everybody run off deep, dunked a little short underneath pass to one of the halfbacks, and let him run. They're almost in field goal position, Tony.
First and 10 at the 38-yard line. Back to throw is Burt Jones, looking, fires. McCauley's got it, 35. At the 30, hit knocked out at the 48-yard line, but there's a penalty marker, and it probably will be a holding call against the Baltimore Colts. 25 seconds left to play in the first half. Baltimore's out in front by a score of 14-7. And the wrap is going to be against the Colts. Walking back toward midfield. Do it, the indication is from the official. The pass to McCauley was good down to the 28-yard line of Dallas. They walk it off. That'll bring it back to the Dallas 48-yard line. And the call is going to be holding.
Well, I got a feeling we won't see that same defense because it's long yardage now. It is a passing down, obviously, and they'd have to throw pretty deep to get that first down, but a first down will put them in field goal range.
Jones, 6 out of 12 now, 100 yards. McCauley, 3 catches, 67 yards. Receivers wide, left and right. Jones back to throw. Being pressure, goes up the middle of the pass was blocked. Excellent defensive play by linebacker Randy White, the 6'4", 240-pound two-year man from Maryland. Got a hand on the ball, bent it down. 20 seconds left to play in the first half. So it now becomes second down. And 20 yards to go. The ball is at the 46-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. And the Colts huddle back at their own 45.
Well, again, he's still expected to throw deep. He's got 20 yards to pick up or so, and what he has time to do maybe is get 2 plays off.
Jones deploys Roger Carr out to the left and Glenn Dowdy out to the right. Back to throw, being rushed, looks throws. Pass wasn't caught, no, it was not. Incomplete at the 40-yard line. They used 5 seconds on that play. The pass was intended for Lydell Mitchell. It was thrown low. Jones was pressured from the right side, and that's going to make it third down and 20 to go at the 46-yard line with 20 seconds left. Harvey Martin, 6'5", 252-pound, 4-year man from East Texas State, coming hard from the right side. Glenn Dowdy, who played at Michigan, 202-pound, 5-year veteran, is wide left. Carr is out to the right. Jones dropping back, looking, may have to run. Those the tackle at the 45, goes the bound, long downfield, nobody's going to be there. About 7 yards deep in the end zone. Well, we've got 4 seconds left. 4th down and 20. Don McCauley's coming in. Carr coming back, so is Dowdy. Dowdy had pulled up about 18 yards in front of that pass play, and maybe Purchase fired it away. He was running, coming to the near sideline.
His poise is remarkable. He's absolutely a joy to watch. A young quarterback, 2-3 years in the league, just a super presence of mind and what to do and how to do it.
Out to the right goes Carr. Wide left is Raymond Chester. Jones to throw. Has all the time in the world. Gets it off up the middle and is caught. Back at the 23-yard line, and that's going to be the end of the first half of play. Raymond Chester made the grab. Leroy Jordan was there, and that's the end of the first half with a score. The Baltimore Colts 14, the Dallas Cowboys 7. Now the question is, what effect will the rain have? We started out the day sunshiny, bright temperature. Must have been somewhere near 90, probably around 95 or 100 on the football field. But now the open end of this stadium at the roof, it's a lot of rain is pouring on the field. I understand this is not AstroTurf, but tartan turf, which is a smoother surface, which probably means it's going to be a little slicker out there.
That's exactly right. One thing you have as an advantage is it's enclosed all the way around the side so that the wind doesn't blow the nap one way and make it slippery in that direction.
Here's Linhart's run-up, and the boot as the second half is about to get underway. Take it at the 4, the 5, the 10. It's Butch Johnson at the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30. And he's in at the 35 and knocked out at the 37-yard line.
He had a little running room that time. He broke the crust. That first wave of tacklers broke that crust and was just about to spring free about the 35.
I said Butch Johnson. We caught the 7, but it was 37. And that was Jimmy Jensen. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. A number 2 draft choice out of Iowa. And a super run back from the 4 all the way up to the 37-yard line. A 33-yard return. First down at 10 for the Dallas Cowboys. They're trailing by a score of 14-7. Dallas with the ball. First and 10 in motion. Near side is Golden Richards. Roger Staubach back to throw. Left sideline. Pass is caught by Drew Pearson. And he drags the tackler right out of bounds with him. The stop was made by Nelson Muncie, and he never did knock Pearson down.
You know, that's a fine maneuver. What they did there is bring the strength of the formation left all the way in motion to the right, and that singled up Golden Richards, and he just one-on-one'd him. It's rotating the Colts backfield, defensive secondary, when they do that.
Doug Dennison comes out of the backfield. Charles Young, a 6'1", 225 3-year man out of North Carolina State, is in. Pearson now in a slot to the left. Golden Richards wide left. Billy Joe Dupre wide to the right. They shift out of a deuce backfield into an eye. Deep end of the eye is Charles Young. In motion near side, we've got Pearson. Here's Starbuck making the handoff. Looking, throwing upfield. It's downfield. It is incomplete. Overthrown. The intended receiver was Golden Richards. And going with Richards step for step was Lloyd Mumford. Starbuck took a shot that time from Freddie Cook, the on-charging left end of the Baltimore Colts, just as he got rid of the football.
It's beautiful to watch the deploy of the defense. That time they forced Richards inside, knowing he had deep help by the safety man. It's again the same ploy on the part of the Cowboys. They're trying to single up one-on-one coverage.
So the stations close the ball game this afternoon. KAVL in Lancaster, California, WMRO in Aurora, Illinois, and WMBO in Auburn, New York. We welcome you. Out to the left goes Richards, wide to the right. Here's Drew Pearson. Shift out of the eye. Doug Dennison back in the backfield along with Robert Newhouse. Turn around, give to Dennison up over the middle at the 50. And he gets down to about the 47-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. So on first down, check it, make it on second down and 10. We've got a pickup of about 2 on the play. Now it becomes third down and 8. So with third and 8, middle linebacker Jim Triumsky comes out. And Ray Oldham, another defensive back out of Middle Tennessee State, goes into the Colts defensive secondary. Well, they've got 5 defensive back in there. They shift down to the shotgun formation. The Cowboys do. In motion to the right side is Robert Newhouse. Back to throw is Starbuck, looking, firing, pass is caught at the 33. Inside the 30, down to the 28. The grab is made by the big guy, Billy Joe Dupre. Looks like the linebacker was going to get a hand on the football, either Stan White.
That's a game of the chess and checkers, really, because there's 5 receivers and 5 defenders, and they're running all over and giving Roger time to pick it apart.
Darrell Lewis was also there, but they couldn't latch onto the football. Billy Joe Dupre did, and it's a Dallas first down. And it's going to be at the Baltimore 27-yard line. Third quarter action, 13:30 showing on the clock here at Texas Stadium. Baltimore 14, Dallas 7, but the Cowboys are on the move. Richards wide left. Drew Pearson flanked outside him by about 5 yards. Billy Joe Dupre wide to the right. Pearson in motion. Starbuck rolling, throwing to Newhouse at the 30. He gets down to the 26-yard line, and Robert Newhouse is wrestled to the ground by Darrell Lewis, the left side linebacker who played his college ball at Baylor at about the 26-yard line.
You know, that's a clever thing they're doing. They do so many diversified things. They wind up in a divided backfield, and Roger fakes a sweep left. The left halfback was Newhouse, stepped up and sneaked all the way behind the line to come out on the right side for him to dump the ball off to.
Gain of about a yard. It'll be second down and 9 to go. 13 out of 15 for Starbuck, 169 yards. Billy Joe Dupre has caught 3 for 32. Back to Knoll. Handoff out of the lane. Goes to Charles Young on the draw. And Young inside the 25, charges down to the 20, down to the 19-yard line before Stan White makes the stop on the play. And it's going to be very close to a first down. It'll be third down, about a yard and a half to go for the first down. The ball just inside the 20. Got about third down, around a yard or so to go for the first down. 12-10 to go. Dallas Cowboys out of the huddle. In the backfield, Robert Newhouse. In motion, Preston Pearson. Pitch out to Newhouse. At the 20-yard line, he is hit and missed there. Good defensive play.
Well, they try to deploy 2 receivers on each side, then put a man in motion and pitch out to the fullback and let him run that sweep. But it's mighty tough to get blockers in front of that thing when they're so widespread by alignment.
Jackie Wallace came up to make the stop right around the 20-yard line. So now it's going to be fourth down, a loss of about a yard, yard and a half. Fourth down, and about 3 to go. And we'll have the field goal attempt by Efren Herrera. Well, Charlie Waters, that is, will hold, and it'll be a 37-yard boot. The ball will be spotted down at the 27. High snap, kick up in the air. It's going to be off to the left, I believe. Wait a minute. Nope, it was good. It started to veer off to the left side, but it's good. A 37-yard field goal And now the Cowboys trail here by only 4 with a score. The Baltimore Colts 14, the Dallas Cowboys 10. There's a timeout on the field. Now this for International Harvester Scouts.
Under God, the America, others pass by.
There's an America out there most people never see. But you can when you own a rugged four-wheel drive Scout. Explore the back roads, discover a new fishing stream, go hunting, or take your family on a real outdoor camping trip. And now is the time to buy the 1976 four-wheel drive Scout of your choice. Because every International Scout dealer is ready to deal, and deal big. So don't miss out, America. Take a test drive today and get a four-wheel drive price you just can't afford to pass by.
God, the America, others pass by.
Check your yellow pages for the International Harvester dealer nearest you. He's got a great selection of four-wheel drive Scouts in stock, and he's ready to offer you a money-saving deal right now.
Bruce Blair just returned the kickoff for the Baltimore Colts from the 1-yard line up to the 25, a 24-yard return. And Baltimore will have it first and 10 at their own 25-yard line. 11 minutes mark. We have rain falling here at Texas Stadium. Both Laidlaw and Washington, Mark Washington, are okay. That's the word from the Cowboy bench. They're going to play in the second half. Bert Jones turns around, gives the ball to Lydell Mitchell at the 25, at the 30. And he fights his way up to about the 33. That'll set Baltimore back. Offensive holding is the call. And that'll nullify a good 8-yard sprint by Lydell Mitchell.
Well, the Colts have got to make a long drive now. Lydell Mitchell's got to have the quickest feet of any halfback I've seen in a long time. That puts them back a little bit, and they need a long gainer here.
The walk-off is 10, brings it back to the 15-yard line. And it now becomes first down and 20 instead of second and 2. It's first and 20 for the Colts. They're out in front by 4, 14 to 10. Roger Carr comes wide to the left. Deployed wide to the right is Glenn Downey. Bert Jones. With Roosevelt leaks and Lydell Mitchell in the backfield. Jones looking to throw. Throwing long downfield. He's got Carr. Caught it at the 40. 35-yard line. He's knocked down there. Well, they went for all the marbles that time. They didn't get all the marbles, but they got the big gainer. And a lot of credit has to go to that Baltimore front line. Kenny Menden, Hall, Elmer Collette, George Combs, Robert Pratt, David Taylor. They gave Burt the time it took to throw the long bomb upfield, and the catch was made by Robert Carr, a 49-yard pass play to put the ball down at the Dallas 31-yard line, first down and 10.
Well, it isn't often that you see Mel Renfro beat, but that ball was so perfectly thrown, and Carr got out beyond him just a step or two, and the ball, incidentally, was in the air about 45 to 50 yards from where he threw it.
First down and 10 for the Baltimore Colts at the Dallas 37-yard line. Jones gets the snap from Mendenhall. Fakes to Lydell Mitchell. Looking, fires. Caught by Carr at the 20. And he falls down at the 18-yard line. He was covered on the play by Mel Renfro. And another strike by Bert Jones.
Mel Renfro was in the process of falling himself there, but Raj Carr kind of cooperated and fell into him. Otherwise, he had a clear field.
Going to be first down and 10 now for the Baltimore Colts. The ball is at the Dallas 19-yard line. Baltimore out in front by a score of 14-10. 9:40 left to go in the third quarter. Downey wide to the right. Carr comes out to the left. I formation. Handoff Lydell Mitchell. Picking his way. Knees turning. Gets it down to the 15. Maybe as far as the 14-yard line.
They really have striking power. Both of these teams can move the football. That time they just wedged the thing on the right side and pulled the left guard to get another body up and through.
Last man to get up from the bottom of the pile was big Jeff Ropew, the 6'6", 248-pound, 12-year veteran from Elizabeth City State. A gain on the play of 4. It'll be second down and 6 yards to go. Jones is at 9 out of 18, 189 yards. Carr's caught 3 for 82 yards. Second down, 6. Hand off to Mitchell, right tackle. Comes back over the middle again and gets it inside the 15 down to about the 12 or 13-yard line. Picks up about 3 on the play. That'll make it third down. They'll still have around 3 or 4 yards to go.
How they love that isolation play. They just split you out as far as they dare, go straight ahead blocking at you, and let Lydell follow the fullback.
Nothing fancy here by the Colts. Roosevelt Leach comes out. Another hard running back. Good short yardage man. Don McCauley, the former North Carolina star. Got all kind of records as a Tar Heel is in the backfield. Jones back to throw. Looking, fires, and center for McCauley is incomplete. Try to get McCauley at the 4-yard line. Pass was incomplete. Jones really threw that ball up to the middle, trying to get McCauley coming out of the backfield. And it is raining much harder now, Tom Pagna.
Yeah, I think he's mad at himself. He knew that he drilled it a little bit too hard, but at least they're in field goal position, and they can match the 3 points that Dallas put, which incidentally is a big 3 points right now with this downpour coming.
All right, here's Tony Linhart to try for the field goal. The ball will be spotted out at the 20-yard line. It'll be a 30-yard boot. Spotted down, kickers up in the air, and it is good. So, there's a timeout on the field with a score. The Dallas Cowboys trailing the Baltimore Colts. Colts 17, Cowboys 10. Now this word.
Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob. On a cloud in the sky. Weekend. Say a few friends drop by. Weekend. Let you know which beer you're going out to buy. It's Michelob.
The bottle's the same famous shape, and the beer inside, 7 ounces of unexpected pleasure. That's why they call it Mix 7. Next time out, try it out the size. Mix 7.
Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob. Have a night when you're here. Weekend. 52 times a year. Weekend. Don't forget, remember to pick up some beer. Michelob. Weekend were made for Michelob.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Distributed by Utley Distributing Company.
Well, in the lingo of football experts, that's tit for tat. There's 3 points down the field for the Cowboys and 3 retaliated by the Colts. And Bert Jones mad at himself that he didn't get it in for the score when he just rifled the ball past Don McCauley.
Well, Linhart, that's a total of 3 field goals and 4 attempts. 1 out of 1 from the 20 to 29-yard line. 2 out of 2 from 30 to 39 yards out. 0 for 1 from 0 to rather from 40 to 49 yards out. 17-10. The Baltimore Colts are out in front. 8:16 to go. The boot. It's deep. It's Jensen at the 1, at the 5, at the 10, the 15, at the 20, at the 25. Quick to the 30-yard line before he finally tripped up on the play. And Jimmy Jensen almost whooped him that time. A 29-yard return by Jim Jensen.
He was down to the kicker, and kickers don't like that. Number 2.
One of the Colts on the seat of his pants, a little slow getting up on the play. That's Jimmy Kennedy. And apparently he sustained an injury to his right leg. We're going to pause briefly here for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports radio network.
And this is Sports Radio 86, WSON Henderson, 4 before 5 o'clock.
Jim Kennedy is the backup receiver, tight end for Raymond Chester. He's 6'3", a 230-pound, 2-year man out of Colorado State. And right now, they are working on his right leg. And I'll tell you right now, that opening here at Texas Stadium is letting in a lot of water, Tom Pagna.
You know, it's amazing. Here we are, we're about as dry as you can get, and we're watching another world out there in the middle of the football field. Did you see the spray rise when the bodies collided on that kickoff return? It was just like stepping and tromping in a puddle, like your 6-year-old out playing with a new pair of sneakers.
Well, one thing, it's cooled it off considerably.
Yeah, the temperature has gone down, no question about that. Now I can foresee rather, that any little slight mismaneuver, any turnover at this stage of the game, because the field is wet and that pigskin is going to get mighty slippery and slimy.
Good news for the Colts fans. Jimmy Kennedy up and walking off the field under his own power. Lazy Boy Chair Company will award a Lazy Boy recliner to the outstanding offensive and outstanding defensive players in today's game. We'll announce the winners at the conclusion of our contest. All right, 17-10 Baltimore out in front. 8:05 to go in the third quarter. Cowboys eye formation. Slot left, slot man. Pearson in motion to the right side. Turnaround. Staubach gives to Dennison. Trying to go to the outside. He is ridden down by Stan White. Stan White on the line of scrimmage. Grabbed Dennison around the sides and dropped him for a loss. Back at the 31-yard line, and Stan White played quite a ball game, Tom.
He really has. He's not a big guy. He's 220 and just a marvelous linebacker because of agility. Apparently, the halftime strategy, the Cowboys kept trying to work out the idea of when we put a man in motion to our right, the defensive secondary of the Colts revolves. Let's hit back there with a run or hit back there with a single to Golden Richards.
Cowboys have managed only 53 yards on the ground. They go to the shotgun. Staubach waiting for the snap. From John Fitzgerald, gets it chest high. Drops back to the 19. Being pressured. Hit. Spins around. He's going to be dropped for a loss. Back at about the 22-yard line. And the sack pack got to him. Leading the charge was Big Joe Irving, the 254-pound, four-year man out of Syracuse, who was an All-America when he played with the Orangemen.
Well, it's not often you see Roger the Lodger scrambled, but there was great protection. There really wasn't any place to throw the ball, and that great charge of the Baltimore Colts defensive front got to him.
Last year, that sack pack front four averaging just under 25 years, accounted for an NFL-leading 59 sacks. Dutton had 17. Cook had 16 and a half. I don't know how you get a half a sack. Joe Irving had 9, and Mike Barnes had 8.
They divide them, I guess. You get the bottom half, I get the top.
Who got the other half? Third down, 19 to go for the Cowboys. In the shotgun, Newhouse in motion to the right. Staubach back to throw, has the time, fires. Caught by Pearson. He is drilled into the ground. Or into the turf at about the 35-yard line. Actually wound up around the 32. But he caught the ball at the 38-yard line. It's not enough yardage for the first down. With third down and 19, it's now going to be fourth down, and they'll still have about 4 or 5 yards to go.
Here's where the kicking game really gets dangerous because you're half afraid to feel it. You don't want it to pin you down inside your own 10. Very ticklish situation. Also the snap on the punt.
Tom, you can see the water now piling up on the tartan turf, but it's really going to get treacherous. Here's a snap back to Danny White, and he gets the boomer up in the air. This one won't go as far. It'll come down short. Oh, fair catch. Oh, fair catch. Howard Dean tried to catch the ball in the crowd. He fumbled it. The Cowboys recover. Cowboys recover, and the guy that recovered the ball was Greg Shaw, an offensive end. A bad case of judgment on the part of Howard Stevens to try to catch a short punt in the crowd. Did not signal a fair catch. And Greg Shaw, an offensive end, the number 2 end, was the guy that fell on the football, and the Cowboys get a big break on a 34-yard punt.
That is certainly a break for them. You know, that ball never turned over. It got awful high, and it didn't quite turn over the forward edge, so it just stayed upright when it fell. And the vertical fall of a ball being caught by a punt return man is the most difficult of all because it falls away from you.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the first Baltimore fumble, the first recovery by the Dallas Cowboys, and they've got the ball in great position. There's a timeout with a score. The Baltimore Colts 17, the Dallas Cowboys 10. Now this word for Matus.
There's lots of good reasons Matus Rosé is one of the most enjoyed wines in the world.
Whenever I turn to keep my wine, whenever I serve it for my guests dessert, daytime and night it tastes just right. Have you tried the white taste all the time? It's lots of good reasons why Matus is so pleasing. It's sweet, imported wine from any time. When I serve beer, Matus is a meal. It's an imported wine that helps make the meal. When I'm on the beach, it's always in reach. When he's buying the juice, I take one of each. There's lots of good reasons why Matus is so pleasing. It's sweet, imported wine from any time.
Whatever the reason, make it Matus, rosé or white. The wine's made for your kind of food, your kind of good times. Matus, the perfect wines anytime. Imported by Dreyfus Ashby and Company, New York, New York.
On the first play, Doug Dennison gets about 3 yards up the middle. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go. Dennison now replaced in the backfield by Charles Young. Young teaming with Robert Newhouse. Wide to the right, we've got Drew Fish, and out to the left is Golden Richards. Billy Joe Dufresne at tight end right side. Rain slackening a bit now. Second down, about 7 to go. Starbuck fakes, rolls to the right, throws. Pass is caught, and it knocked down immediately is the receiver. And that was Robert Newhouse, and he was hit hard in the smut of the back by Bruce Laird. Bruce Laird came up very quickly to make the hit on the play. 6'1", 198-pounder in his 5th year out of American International. And now the middle linebacker, Jim Chayansky, comes out. And into the ball game is Ray Oldham. Third down. 7 yards to go. No gain on the play. The ball is at the Baltimore Colts 36-yard line. And that Colts defense is going to have to step it here and not allow the Cowboys an opportunity to do something with that fumble recovery. Here's Starbuck back to throw, looking, firing on the corner. Got Golden Richards got it. Roger Starbuck to Golden Richards for the touchdown. Richards got behind Jackie Wallace, and the Cowboys are within one of the Baltimore lead. Beautiful pass from Starbuck to Richards, who makes it over the shoulder grab, and it's now 17 to 16. What a great move by Golden Richards, Tony. What he did is the wide receiver, he made a 3 move. He started a little bit out, really put a spurt on to the inside like he's going to run a post. He got his man turned, and then bang, made a hard cut to the flag. Roger Starbuck with great protection, zeroed it in. Here comes the point after attempt, spotted down, kicked up in the air, and it is good. We've got a brand new ball game. We've been here before. A brand new ball game here. They went 34 yards in 3 plays. Roger Starbuck to Golden Richards on a 34-yarder. Beautifully executed play. And now it's a brand new ball game, 17-all with 4:32 left to play in the third period. We've had 4 fumbles in this game and 3 recoveries, and they've all turned into touchdowns. Starbuck 16 out of 18, 214 yards. Richards caught 3 for 80 yards, 2 for touchdowns. I really thought he was going to go for a shorter pass. They needed 8 yards, and he wanted that first down a little more conservatively. And in the flat, he had Newhouse. But apparently, Golden Richards did such a super job on his man. Starbuck spotted it, and that's the thing that they make small change from. Roger put it right on the money. Here, a special account of the Muhammad Ali Ken Norton Heavyweight Championship fight. Tuesday, September 28th on Mutual Sports. This is not, nor will there be any other live or recreated blow-by-blow coverage. Only the special radio account of the fight, with interviews and a description of the action of each round immediately at the end of the round. That's Tuesday night, September 28th, over many of these Mutual Network stations. Efren Herrera has it teed up at a 35. The run-up bounces one down the left side. It'll be free ball at the 30, 27-yard line. And one of the Colts was diving for it and managed to recover it at the 27-yard line. I don't know if he planned that, but if he did, it was like a Texas leaguer. He squibbed it. It didn't go very far. There's a gap between the front row and the back safety people, and it fell right in that gap. And one of the Colts shaking up on the play at the 27-yard line. So it'll be Baltimore ball, first down and 10. Well, the fans have to be enjoying this. It's as though Roger Starbuck says, there, I did my thing, Bert, it's your turn. And they've been moving just about that way. Well, don't underestimate Mr. Jones. Came up with a big play in the last series. Can't find out who that Baltimore player is. He is laying down on his side, over the far sideline at the 27-yard line. And Baltimore will put the ball in play at their own 27. With a brand new ball game at 17 apiece. Buick Motor Division of General Motors Corporation will award a 1977 Buick Regal to the 1976 NFL Player of the Year, as selected by the sports writers and broadcasters who cover NFL games. The winner will be announced over the Mutual Broadcasting System during the first round NFL Championship playoff games, December 18th and 19th.
Got some final scores and some third quarter scores here. Cleveland 7, Denver 24 in the third quarter. The New York Giants and Los Angeles in the third quarter, a 10-10 tie. Sounds familiar. St. Louis 17 and San Diego. Third quarter score 33. Again, 17 St. Louis, San Diego 33. San Francisco in the third quarter is leading 31-7 over Seattle.
Kenny Huff was the player shaken up on the play. Huff walking off the field under his own power. Rain has slackened here at Texas Stadium, but it is still raining. You have water standing on the tartan turf. Baltimore's got the ball. Got a brand new ball game with 4:27 to go in the third period. First and 10 at their own 27-yard line. Roger Carr comes out to the left. He'll be taken by Mel Renfro. Bert Jones, a long count, gets the snap, turns around, gives it to Lydell Mitchell. And Mitchell tries right tackle, and he ran right into the waiting arms of left side linebacker Bob Runick, who made the hit on the play.
You know, when you talk about the pulse of a game, where you're talking about momentum of one team moving, and this is an important series. If they shut them off, if Dallas shuts them off, you've broken momentum. But if they eke out a first down here, then we're really in for a drive.
A gain of about a yard. Second down and 9 to go. Glenn Dowdy is wide left. Roger Carr is put to the right. Roosevelt leads and Lydell Mitchell out of back. Here's a handoff going to Mitchell. Mitchell with a block in front of him, gets it at the 30, at the 32, 33-yard line, and he's going to be stowed under there. And when you get near those sidelines, Tom, it's very difficult to cut because that's where you have most of the water.
That's true, Tony. Plus, there's also a little runoff. I think about an 18-inch ground in the middle of the field that tapers, so you're really running downhill.
So Lydell gets about a half a dozen on the play. It'll be third down and 3 yards to go. The ball will be put down at the 33-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. So the big play coming up. Baltimore 5 out of 10 on third down conversion. Carr goes wide right. Out to the left, we've got Raymond Chester. In a spot to the right side is Glenn Dowdy. 2 setbacks. To throw. Jones intended for Don McCauley. Pressured on the play, and the pass is incomplete. And the pressure came from Ed Too-Tall Jones, the 6'9", 265-pound, 3-year defensive end from Tennessee State, who came charging in from the left side. It's Baltimore 17, down to 17. Fourth down. 4 yards to go. 3:04 left to play in the third period.
I anticipate a punt rush here. I don't know that we'll get it, but I anticipate it with this kind of weather.
David Lee, 3 boots, 38.5. Butch Johnson back to receive it at the 25-yard line. Gets it up in the air. Coming on down. Johnson will field it at the 30. Moves to the right. At the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50. He got the 48-yard line. Falls out of the 44-yard line. Butch Johnson. On a return to the Baltimore 44. And the Cowboys picking up steam. A 37-yard punt and a 27-yard return. Dallas for the ball at the Colts 44.
Always, that's the danger spot. If you can break that first wave, you got running room, and he certainly had it.
So the Cowboys come out of the huddle. Game is tied at 17. 2:51 to go, third quarter. Roger Staubach, I formation, out of the I. Doug Dennison and Robert Newhouse. In motion towards the line of scrimmage, the wide receiver Preston. The handoff goes to Newhouse, straight up the middle he goes, down to about the old 41-yard line, and that's about it. Maybe as far as the 40.
Well, Roger crossed me up that last series they had the down and scored. I thought he was going to play it a little bit more conservative, and I think right now he probably is thinking in terms of getting in that conservative field goal range.
Ball is between the 40 and 41-yard line. Gain of about 4, second down and 6. Golden Richards goes wide to the left. Pearson comes out to the right. Newhouse, the fullback. Charles Young has replaced Edison. Turnaround. J.F.D. Young sweeping to the left side. At the 40, turns it in. Gets it down to the 35 where he's fouled up, and it'll be very close to a first down. They may be a yard shy of first down yardage. I believe they're going to place it down squarely at the 35. To get the first down, they'll have to go down to the Baltimore 34. So it now becomes third down and a yard to go for the Cowboys at the Baltimore 35-yard line.
That play they ran didn't look like much because it's really so simple, but they're in the eye. They fake the fullback over the middle. They counter-step the tailback to the right, which gives both guards a chance to pull and clear to the left, and it winds up being an eye-back sweep left.
Well, they're in a power eye this time. The wide receivers are out. We've got a double set in. Handoff goes to Young, and Young is hit at the 35. And I mean, he was hit. The hole was there, and then all of a sudden it closed up. And a great hit at the 35-yard line by the linebacker for the Baltimore Colts, Jim Chionsky, the middle linebacker. Picked up maybe a half a yard on the play, and they're going to have a measurement.
From where I'm looking, it looks like he has to reach the stripe, which actually is the 34-yard line, and he might be inches short. That would be my guess.
And it is. Give it about 4 inches shy of a first down. So it's now fourth down, about 4 inches to go for the first down. Here comes Preston Pearson into the ball game. Doug Dennison is out. Charles Young is back in. Drew Pearson comes out. Clock is running a minute 20 to go in the third quarter. Game tied at 17 apiece. Dallas for the ball.
Probably come two tight ends now and free shift, trying to draw them offside.
All right, double side end. Dupree and Saldi. Again, the power eye formation. Here's Starbuck faking, running to the right at the 40-yard line. 35, he's got the first down. He was hit at the 34. Momentum carried him down to the 33. It'll be a Dallas first down. And Roger the Dodgers traveled to the right for the first down. And Dallas keeps its drive alive.
Well, that's a gutsy call by Roger. It really is. He double faked the power eye right into the middle and then kept it. I don't know whether he was going to throw or not, but he elongated that 6-foot-some body and got that first.
October 9th, Mutual takes you to Ann Arbor for the traditional Big Ten clash between Michigan and Michigan State. The record books go out the window for this one, so join Don Fricky and Pat Sheridan for the fireworks October 9th over most of these Mutual network stations. First and 10 for the Dallas Cowboys. Shift into the eye. Starbuck back to throw. Looking, fires to the right sideline. It is incomplete.
You notice the two wide receivers that time crossed, hoping to catch him in an exchange, but they were in a zone and they just stayed at home, and the ball was slightly thrown to the outside.
Golden Richard was the intended receiver. That'll make it second down and 10. And all of a sudden, it isn't raining anymore.
Well, things happen big and quick in Texas.
Ball at the 33, second down and 10 to go. Drew Pearson goes wide left. Out to the right, Golden Richard. The backfield, Robert Newhouse and Preston Pearson. Pearson now goes into the I formation. Starbuck back to throw. Pearson's got it at the 35, at the 30, at the 25. Beautiful move, and he gets down to the 20-yard line. Before Bruce Baird wraps him up, and it's another Dallas first down. That play covered about 12 yards, and the Cowboys are on the move. That's the end of the third quarter of play with a score. The Dallas Cowboys 17, the Baltimore Colts 17.
Well, I haven't seen them use that play often, but what they did there was to decoy a tight end and two wide receivers, and Starbuck had the presence to look downfield and then lop it off to the I-back, who just simply flared out to his left, and there wasn't a screen, there weren't no lead blockers, but when Preston fielded the ball, he had open field because everybody had run off deep with the wide receivers. Then he cut it underneath and gained a very valuable 12 yards, and they're in great shape in scoring position at the 22 of the Colts.
Baltimore's got 16 first downs, the Cowboys 14. Colts have 125 yards rushing, Dallas only 67, but Dallas has 265 through the air, while the Colts have 189. Cowboys have completed 18 out of 21 passes this afternoon. They shift out of the eye, deuce backfield. Here's a turnaround, give to Dennison, right tackle, inside the 20, 15 out to the 13-yard line. Dennison had a handoff from Roger Starbuck, charging ahead, picked up about 7 or 8 on the play. It'll be second down and a couple of yards to go for the first down. The ball is at the 13-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. Dennison has 12 carries, a total of 44 yards. Dennison's out now, and Charles Young is in the backfield for the Dallas Cowboys. Fourth quarter action. Game tied at 17. Richards wide left out to the right, Drew Pearson. Charles Young, Robert Newhouse. Hand off to Young. Right tackle he goes. Inside the 10, and he fights to the 9 to the 8-yard line. Before the tackle is made by Jackie Wallace.
That's an identical play to the one they just ran with Dennison, and what they're doing is they're trying to make it look like a sweep, a divided backfield. He comes back and hands it off to the left half going to the right, and instead it's elongated, and he cuts it back in over the right tackle.
So it's first down. Goal to go. The ball is at the Baltimore 9-yard line, and the Colts defense being called on here to stiffen. First and goal to go at the 9. Shift out of the eye. Newhouse, hand off to Dennison. Dennison at right tackle, jumps over one man, still on his feet, fights inside the 5, gets to the 3-yard line. John Dennison, 6 foot, 208 pounds, 3-year veteran from Kutztown State. Just wouldn't go down, and he's inside the 5, and it'll be second down and goal to go. They'll put the ball down at the Baltimore 3.
What a tremendous job, Tony. Robert Pratt and Elmer Collett, the right and left guard of the Dallas Cowboys, are doing. Both of them wheel. The first one kicks off the defensive end, and the other one is up and through.
Richards goes wide to the right. Jay Salding is in on the left side. We've got a double tight end here. Dupre on the right side. Here's Staubach, hand off. The ball going to Young, and Young is brought to a halt at the 3-yard line. He was hit by John Dutton for 1. Also, Jim Chianti, the middle linebacker, was there on the stop. May have lost a yard back to the 3.5. So it's third down, about a half-yard loss. Third down, about 3.5 to go for the touchdown at the Baltimore 3.5-yard line. Now, Landry calls the plays by shuttling his backs. In the backfield now, Dennison in the tail. Robert Newhouse, they shift out of the I formation. In motion now is Pearson. Here's Staubach with a long count. Hand off to Dennison, being chased. Eludes the tackle at the 5. Is knocked down at the 1-yard line. Joe Ehrman almost got him at the 10. Couldn't hold on to him. And Dennison got it down to the 1-yard line, where now is fourth down and goal to go at the 1.
We just got a score in, Tony, and they broke that 10-10 tie out on the coast. Los Angeles is up in the fourth quarter, 17-10.
All right, the Cowboys will elect to go for the 3-point. It's no more than an extra point for Efren Herrera of the Dallas Cowboys. Ball to be spotted down at the 8-yard line. Hasn't missed a field goal all year. Put down, kick up in the air, money in the bank. It's good. There's a timeout on the field with a score. The Dallas Cowboys 20 and the Baltimore Colts 17. Now this word.
Weekend Swerve made for Michelob. Weekend Swerve made for Michelob. Not a cloud in the sky. Weekend. Say a few friends drop by. Weekend. Let you know which beer you're going out to buy. Michelob.
Maybe this would be a good weekend to try Mix 7. Mick from Michelob. 7 for 7 ounces of unexpected pleasure. Look for Mix 7 in the gold 6-pack.
Weekend Swerve made for Michelob. Weekend Swerve made for Michelob. Have a nice one you hear. Weekend. 52 times a year. Weekend. Don't forget, remember to make up some Michelob. Weekend Swerve made for Michelob.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Distributed by Utley Distributing Company.
Tony Roberts, we've got a little ways to go yet. There could be a lot of things happen, but right now, off the top of your head, who would you think the outstanding player for Lazy Boy Chair would be?
I got to go with Roger Staubach. I know he's going to be sitting pretty in that Lazy Boy chair. I can't see anybody else getting the outstanding offensive player. Stan White's done a good job of linebacking defensively. Here's a run up in the boot. It bounces around, fumbled at the 20, picked up at the 20-25, and falling forward, one of the big tackle, got it up to about the 30-yard line. That was Kenny Novak. Ken Novak, who's a backup for Joe Ehrman. 6'7", 275-pound, number 1 draft choice out of Purdue. And that for Ken Novak may have been an all-time first. Got to run the ball.
Quite likely. Quite likely.
First and 10 for the Baltimore Colts. We're in the fourth quarter, and they're down by 3, 20-17. First time they have trailed. Jones thinking. Back to pass down the sideline. They set it for Dowdy. It is incomplete. Pass was overthrown by Jones.
He's a thrill a minute. He was going to get right back into it with one grab, and it was a well-calculated play. First down's a great throwing down.
Baltimore coming off a big win over Cincinnati last week, 28-27. Dallas had an easier time of it against the New Orleans Saints, 24-6. Second down and 10 at the 31-yard line. The snap. Jones puts it on his hip. Circles to the left, looking, thinking, at the 35, at the 40, and ridden out of bounds at the 40-yard line. He was hit and knocked out of bounds at the 40 by D.D. Lewis, the 8-year veteran, right side linebacker from Mississippi.
There are words, Tony. We used a word in college football called waggle, and what it means is the flow of the backs come one way and the guards wheel the other way, and the quarterback bootlegs. Well, that's what Roger did, and he was trying to flag the single receiver he had on that side, saying, go ahead, I've got time, go ahead deep. Of course, the wide receiver let up on it, and Burt winds up running the ball.
All right, Carr is out, and so is Lydell Mitchell. Don McCauley in the backfield now with Roosevelt Leaks, double tight end, wide to the right. We've got a split receiver diving over the middle for the first down as Roosevelt Leaks. No way they were going to stop him. He was like an IBM that time.
Roosevelt Leaks is a really compactly built fullback, halfback type. What a fantastic college career he had. Now the pros can look forward to him for maybe another 10 years.
5'11", 225-pound, 2-year man out of Texas. And it's the first down for Baltimore at their own 43-yard line. Carr is back in, so is Glenn Dowdy. They're wide left and right. Here's Jones looking to throw to the sideline. It is caught at the 48-yard line, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line. This time it was Randy White who made the hit on the play. And the catch was made by Freddie Scott at 6'2", 175-pound, 3-year man from Amherst. So Scott makes the catch. A gain of about 9 on the play. It'll be second down and a yard to go. With second at one time, you can do so many things.
That's exactly right. You got him guessing now. That was a little run-action fake and just a perfectly timed throw. I wouldn't be surprised if he came back with it.
Scott is flanked to the right. Double tight end. Out to the left, we've got Carr. Turn around, handoff. Lydell Mitchell fights for the yard. He gets inside the 45, down to the 44-yard line. Little stutter step there by Lydell. So it's another first down for the Baltimore Colts. We're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, your News and Sports Radio Network.
And this is Sports Radio 86, where you hear football all weekend long. WSON Henderson.
Ball at the 45-yard line of Dallas. First down and 10 to go. Mitchell, Roosevelt Leaks in the I formation. Here's Jones. Looking. Gonna have to run for his life. Being chased by the big guy, Harvey Martin, and he finally runs out of bounds. Shoved out of bounds by Bob Brunick. Oh, I want to tell you. Harvey Martin, 6'5", 252 pounds, a 4-year giant from East Texas State. That must have sounded like a herd of elephants stranded him. If he didn't hear the footsteps, he certainly heard the splashing sound or felt the heat of that warm breath on your neck. I've got to hand it to Burt. He is a really courageous fellow. Scrambling and throwing. A gain on the play of 5 yards. And a scurry to the right by Burt Jones. Second down and 5 to go. Deuce backfield, handoff. Roosevelt Leaks bounces off the middle. Slides to the left, and he's got the first down. He hit a stone wall up the middle, slid to the left, and kept those knees turning. He's got a first down at the 31-yard line of Dallas.
think he even really had to look around for that when his body just bounced into the opening. Everybody had squelched the middle, and he bounced off to the left. That great balance they have.
Bert Jones has had to run it 4 times, good for 33 yards. Car wide left. Out to the right. It's Brendati. And nowhere to go at the 35-yard line. Boy, Stonewall. Mydell Mitchell ran into Ed Too Tall Jones and company, and that was the end of that. Loss of about 3. Second down, 13 yards to go. The ball at the 35.
I think defensively they stunned at that time. Normally speaking, Too Tall comes from the outside, but he slithered inside the tight end or tackle's block and shut it off.
They remove a tackle and 3 linebackers. The Cowboys do. Second down, Jones back to throw. Going to get hit in the blind side. Being chased. Goes down the run and is incomplete.
Bert Jones is a little bit unhappy at a call. I think he feels like there was a little interference on the receiver he was trying to hit short.
Well, I believe they're claiming interference. I believe it was on Don McCauley. They don't get the call. It now becomes third down and 13 to go. And again, a lot of pressure from the right side from Harvey Martin.
Well, they've got
Harvey Martin comes after you. It has to be like that dream that everybody has where you're being chased. It's a nightmare.
with gum on your shoes.
And that's right. You can't get those feet going. Third down and 13. Bert Jones back to throw. Looking, throws downfield. Oh! Back down at the last moment by Mel Renfro. There's a penalty marker at the 40-yard line. Well, a penalty marker at the 40. Personal foul. Dallas roughing the passer.
Oh, my. One great play offset there. Mel Renfro knew he was beat. He did the only thing he could do. He laid his ears back, buried his head, and ran for the spot that he could see Golden Richards. And at the last instant, knocked it down. But this penalty oversets that great defensive play by putting Baltimore alive for this scoring drive.
Well, he played the ball. He knew he didn't have the receiver. He played the ball and knocked it down. Roger Carr almost had it in his midsection. So, roughing the passer call against the Cowboys. Keeps the Colts drive alive now. First and 10, Baltimore. At the Dallas 20-yard line. High formation. Bert Jones turns around, gives it to Mitchell. Cuts back over the middle, 15. And to the 9-yard line. 11 yards up the middle by Lydell Mitchell.
Well, that call was unpopular with the fans here, and it's obvious why it would be, but I tell you, they did a marvelous thing right afterwards. The Colts stormed at him with that great isolation play of theirs, and Lydell Mitchell is absolutely beautiful. He makes a cut, and there's no wasted motion. He plants his outside foot and bangs into the hole with a lot of forward momentum.
This drive started back at the Baltimore 31. First down and goal to go. Hand off to Mitchell, looking for running room. Slides inside left tackle, going to the weak side. Cuts back over the middle again, gets it inside the 10, down to about the 6-yard line. Tackle made by Leroy Jordan. It'll be second down and goal to go. Mitchell now has 24 carries, 108 yards.
I just recall, Tony, remember the scoring drive, they were in a similar situation. He put a formation up and then kicked the ball. I look for maybe a little tomfoolery down here. They need it.
Carr is wide right. Here's Jones pitching. Mitchell with a blocker in front of him. Cuts it at the 10. At the 5. His hit is knocked down right around the 3-yard line. The stop on the play by the linebacker, Bob Brunig. And it now becomes third down. Goal to go at the 2. John McCauley coming in. Roosevelt Leaks is in the backfield. 2 power runners.
Decision. 6 minutes to go. 2 plays to score a touchdown and 2 plays, one of which you can try a field goal.
Right now it's Cowboys 20. Colts 17. Approaching the 6-minute mark, fourth quarter. Here's Jones getting the snap. Handoff. McCauley tries the goal line. Did he make it? Touchdown, Baltimore. John McCauley up and over for the score. He's thought he broke the plane of the goal line, and it's now 23-20. Baltimore.
I wonder what Lydell Mitchell and Don McCauley talk about when Lydell runs it down there and McCauley comes in nice and fresh. They got to be the best of friends.
Yep.
Great team play. It really was a great drive for the Baltimore Colts.
69-yard drive. In a total of 13 plays, a big penalty helps out. We've got 6:08 left in the ball game. And now it's a 23-20 game. There comes the PAT attempt by Leonard, spotted down up in the air. Looks like he might have shanked it a little bit, but it's good. So, with a score, Baltimore 24 and Dallas 20. There's a timeout on the field. Now this for Lazy Boy and the Teamsters.
Tony Roberts, we've watched 3 games. This is not concluded by a long shot. The first 2 were exciting, call them cliffhangers, and we're watching one that's everything you want to watch in football. It's got the passing game, the running game, the great plays. There have been some turnovers. There have been some marvelous saves, some brilliant play calling, and it's anybody's game against 2 great teams.
Here's the buzz by Leonard. When he puts the foot into this one, it'll be taken right around the 4. At the 5, it's Johnson at the 10, the 15, the 20. Hit and knocked down right around the 20-yard line. And a good, hard hit by Sanders Shiver, a linebacker, number 2 linebacker for the Baltimore Colts. 16-yard return, and the Cowboys, trailing 24-20, will put it in play first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
6 minutes to go on the clock, and a lot of football to be played here. We'll bring it to you live, neutral booth, Tony Roberts and Tom Pagna.
Well, you know, right now, we've got 6 minutes to go, but the Redskins and the Cardinals have to be happy. 24-20 Baltimore. 6 minutes to go. First down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Here's Starbuck taking the handoff, looking to throw, throws the screen at the 15, the 20, the 25, and Pearson at the 30, at the center out at the 35, at the 40, at the 43. Preston Pearson on a straight pass to the left side was finally knocked down by Baltimore's Jackie Wallace.
Dallas has that facility to reach in their hip pocket and pull something out. It's a long gainer. That time, that little screenplay was hidden because it was the off halfback, the right halfback that dove, and then sneaked out on the left side of the line where only his foot receiver had raced downfield. Then the line formed in front of him. A beautiful pickup and a great piece of running afterwards.
23 yards, Starbuck to Pearson. First and 10 Cowboys. In motion to the near side is Golden Richards. Roger back to throw. Start the throw. Who's got it? They're going to say that his arm was moving forward when he was hit by Big Joe Irving. Irving came in like a locomotive and hit Starbuck. And he was going deep down the far sideline for Drew Pearson.
I think only Roger Starbuck could have put it out that far. That's a good 45, 50-yard toss.
All right, Starbuck is now 18 out of 22, 249 yards. Preston Pearson, 3 catches, 54 yards. Second down and 10 to go. The ball is at the Dallas 43-yard line. We're in the 4th quarter. 5 minutes and 2 seconds left to play. Pearson goes out to the right. Out to the left is Golden Richards. Starbuck reaching under center Johnny Fitzgerald. Now from the flanker spot, Dennison moves back to the setback, takes the handoff, comes up the middle, gets to the 45-yard line. Jim Chiansky is there. So is Freddie Cook, the defensive left end, and a lot of other Baltimore Colts.
That's that play that they ran so successfully on their last scoring drive inside the 20, where their divided backs hand it off. It looks like a sweep, but he moves it in off tackle.
Dennison comes out, and a hard-running Charles Young joins Robert Newhouse in the Dallas backfield, along with Roger Starbuck. Third down and 7 for the Cowboys. They've got it at their own 45-yard line. Starbuck, who's had a magnificent day, now employs the shotgun. Standing at the 40, waiting for the snap. Gets it belt high, drops back to the 33. Looking, firing upfield, and it's caught. Oh! Billy Joe Dupre caught it, and he was hit shoulder high and knocked down at the 39-yard line by Jackie Wallace. Wallace threw a beat on the ball, but he just didn't have enough steps to get to it. And it's another first down for Dallas.
As soon as they shifted into the shotgun, Tony, you could see Stan White waving his arms, calling off whatever defense they had so that they would get into his zone.
and he picked the zone. Baltimore leads at 24-20, but the Cowboys are on the move. They're in Baltimore territory at the 38-yard line. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to play. Dupree, 4 catches, 49 yards. Wide right, Golden Richards. Out to the left, Drew Pearson. Here's Starbuck, faking, looking, throwing downfield, got Richards. Come on! Richards beat the defensive back, Floyd Mumford, and free safety Jackie Wallace. But this time, Roger could not make the connection.
Well, they had that little delayed receiver out in the flat that they jumped right on him with the linebackers, and they were going for all the marbles, and he did have a step on his defender.
Pass is incomplete. That was a 6-pointer. Charles Young now comes in with a play from Coach Tom Landry. That'll make it 2nd down and 10. The ball is at the Baltimore 38-yard line. It's 24-20. The Colts out in front. 3 minutes and 34 seconds left to play. Fourth quarter action. Young and Newhouse split out of the eye. Deuce backfield. Starbuck gets the snap. Dropping back to throw. From the 48. Walk one up the middle. Billy Joe Dupree is there. Touchdown, Cowboys. There's a penalty marker on the play. Johnny Fitzgerald, down the center, shaken up on the play. 38-yard touchdown pass from Roger Staubach. Billy Joe Dupree.
Well, he put a little air under that ball, and it was a little wobbly for Roger. Dupree had his man, the defender was running with his back towards the line of scrimmage, chasing, and overran the defense of it. Dupree had the presence of mind to come back and rebound it, caught it about 2 or 3, and of course got in easily.
And the Cowboys come back with an 80-yard march. They lead at 26-24. 6 plays, 80 yards. Here's Herrera for the PAT. It's up, and it is good. For the score, Dallas 27, Baltimore 24. There's a timeout in the field. Now this for Buick.
Here we are talking with one of the thousands and thousands of people who bought a Buick this year. This is a Skylark, right?
That's right, pretty, huh? Indeed it is. You want to sit in it? I'll let you for $1.25.
Do you charge to let people sit in your Skylark?
Oh, this is a very nice car. Look, I figure when word gets out, people will be lined up for blocks. Hey, you want to honk the horn? Give me a dime.
Listen, sir, Buick dealers let people do this for free.
They do?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're missing a good bet.
Buick, dedicated to the free spirit in just about everyone.
Well, sir, I see you're one of the many people who bought a new Buick Century.
That's right. Boy, you want to talk about roomy and comfortable. Just take a look in there. Go ahead.
But you have curtains hanging in your car.
Yes, wallpaper, too.
Well, why's that?
Well, we like the Century so much, we decided to sell the house and live in it.
Huh. Oh, doesn't that get just a little crowded?
Oh, I suppose it might after a while, but, well, we aren't home that much.
Oh.
Yeah, we got a little Skyhawk up north.
Buick, dedicated to the free spirit in just about everyone.
Well, Tony, it dawns on me that with a great offensive explosion on both teams' parts, it's going to be mighty difficult to pick a great defensive player for today.
Johnny, last couple of weeks against Pittsburgh and Oakland, and last week the Rams and the Vikings, this is when all the fun started. Now we're really going to get into the meat of the ball game if form holds true. 3:27 left to play in the game. Cowboys 27, Colts 24. Roger the Dodger 20 out of 25, 307 yards, 2 touchdown passes. Billy Joe Dupree, a CD, 5 catches, 87 yards.
You know that.
Word from the Baltimore bench, Jimmy Kennedy's got bruised ribs. Kenny Huff is muscle cramps, doubtful that either will be back.
You know, there was a catch that Billy Joe Dupree made just prior to that touchdown catch and was hit like a Mack truck hit him, and he could have easily coughed the ball up, but he didn't.
Here's the boat. It's high and it's deep. Howard Stevens about 3 yards deep at the goal line at the 5, at the 10, the 15, at the 20-yard line. Puts his head down and gets knocked down at about the 21-yard line. Mr. 5x5, Howard Stevens. He's got to be the, what's his name, Pontic? Freddie Pontic of football. 24-yard return. Up to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, he looks like he's standing in a hole out there, but he can really fly. Those legs are like pistons.
There's a penalty marker back at the Dallas 39-yard line, so we're going to get to do it all over again. Might have been an offside against the Dallas Cowboys. The deep men, Stevens in the middle, McCauley on the far side, and Bruce Laird near side.
You know, that little 5-yard penalty looms a lot bigger than it appears, because if that ball is fielded on the 5 or 10 and you get a 20-yard run out, you're in field position for just one first down. Now you're almost at midfield, and you can play a little looser with a football. And you can bet they're going to play a little looser because it's 3:18 and they're going to go for it.
Well, they've got the ball at the 35-yard line. Dallas has a total of 6 penalties now for 56 yards. They're kicking off from the 35 again. If it's an offside, they'd have to move it back to the 30, wouldn't they?
I'm wondering what he did call.
What did he call?
Maybe it nullified, maybe both sides. Oh, a penalty after the last play, and they kicked off from the 40. Now it's proper. Now it's 35.
All right. Now it's the 35. Here's a run up. And the boot. Coming down to Stevens at the 10. Comes up the middle at the 15, at the 20, at the 25, at the 30, circles it away. Turns the corner at the 35, at the 40. Off at the football, the ball. Out of bounds, they've got it. It's going to be Batimore ball. The Colts get the football. Oh. Talk about a pigskin squirting up in the air. Baltimore gets the ball. It'll be 1st and 10. Baltimore at the 38-yard line.
That's the old helmet on the ball trick. Great defensive play. Stuck him. He had some open field. He made a great cutback.
He sure did. So Stevens brings it back to the 38-yard line where it's 1st down and 10. Baltimore trailing 27-24. 3:05 to go in the football game. Jones back to throw. Looking, throwing right side. It is, what's an interception? It was knocked down at the last moment. The pass was intended for Grandotti.
That's a grand play on Mel Renfro and the strong safety. What you're trying to do there is you've got a man on the sideline. How fast can the quarterback get him the ball in the ground that the safety has to make up to get to it? And he just barely did.
We've had a total of 48 passes in this game and no interception yet. 2nd down and 10. Jones back to throw. Here comes the Cowboys. Green. McCauley's got it. 35. At the 40. At the 43-yard line. So he will pick up about 5 yards on the play. And now, Tom, the Dallas defense, that front four really teeing off.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a great play by Larry Kohler, the Cowboys' defensive tackle, because he actually put a charge on the passer, saw that it was a screen, hustled his tail over to the sideline, and made a great play.
Bill Gregory and the 3 linebackers come out. 3rd down, about 4 yards to go for the 1st down for the Colts. They've got it at their own 43-yard line. Big play for Baltimore. 2:20 on the clock. Baltimore trails 27-24. Jones back to throw. Sideline pass, no good. They should have scored down McCauley. Trying to get it to his halfback in front of the Baltimore bench.
He rushed that ball. He had a defensive stunt on. They folded the defensive end and tackle on the left side. And Bert Jones had to unload the ball too quickly.
65,101 screaming fans respond. 2:13 on the clock. David Lee back to boot, averaging just about 39 yards a kick. Butch Johnson deep for Dallas back at the 10-yard line. Waiting for the snap is Lee. Gets it. Gets it up in the air. Johnson coming up at the 15-yard line. Makes the grab. Eludes one tackler. And then is dragged down at the 16-yard line. And it'll be Dallas ball 1st and 10 at the 16.
Well, it's a defensive thing now.
41-yard punt and a 2-yard return. on the clock. First and 10. The ball is at the Dallas 16-yard line. Golden Richards out. Doug Dennison's in the backfield. Drew Pearson comes out to the left. The Cowboys employing a double tight end. High formation. They're going to try to grind it out, use up the clock. Right tackle, maybe a yard or two up to the 17-yard line, and that's it. There's a timeout with a score. The Dallas Cowboys, 27. The Baltimore Colts, 24. Now, this word.
Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob. On a cloud in the sky. Weekend. Say a few friends drop by. Weekend. Let you know which beer you're going out to buy. It's Michelob.
The bottle's the same famous shape, and the beer inside, 7 ounces of unexpected pleasure. That's why they call it Mix 7. Next time out, try it out besides. Mix 7.
Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob. Have a nice when you're here. Weekend. 52 times a year. Weekend. Don't forget, remember to pick up some Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Distributed by Utley Distributing Company.
And one down run off. The Colts have got to go to defense, make them cough up the ball if they're ever going to get another possession in this game.
3-point lead for the Cowboys, 27-24. Roger Staubach has Robert Newhouse in the eye. They shift out of the eye. Newhouse and Dennison split back. In motion to the near side is Drew Pearson. Staubach turns around, gives it to Newhouse. The Newhouse charges forward, gets the ball up to about the 19-yard line. And the Colts call a timeout to stop the clock. 1:53 showing here at Texas Stadium. Dan White coming to the sideline to talk over defensive strategy.
This is a big play, 3rd down and 7. It's a run-action play, but you hate to put the ball in the air. It's a long 7 yards when you try to run the football, yet you don't want to give up possession. It's a big first down if they can make it, and by conversely, a very big one if they don't make it.
27-24. Dallas out in front.
Got one score on here, Tony. It's a surprise. I think it's their first win. 43, San Diego 43, St. Louis 17 in the 4th quarter.
Well, of course, we got the big game tomorrow night, the Redskins and the Eagles. That'll be played at Celebrate Stadium in Philadelphia. Don Crisci and I will be there. And Redskins, of course, going to be battling for a share, if the 27-24 Dallas lead holds up, of the top spot in the National Football Conference East.
I think it's the Washington Redskins that has that skinny little kid by the name of Theismann that I recall so well.
Yes.
Well, he made a little hay for us in his day, I'll tell
That
you.
rhymes with high school, right?
Well, it did then.
1 minute and 53 seconds remain in the game. 3rd down, 6 for Dallas. They lead 27-24. They've got the ball at their own 20-yard line. Staubach waiting for the snap. Rolls to the right. Looking to throw. Does throw. Catch by Dupre. Was he out of bounds? No thought he was out of bounds. Did not have his feet inbounds. And it's incomplete. That's going to make it 4th down and 6 to go.
Well, that was the decision. Hated to put it in the air, so he tried to do something as safely as he could by rolling towards a little out pattern. But it got too close to the sideline for Dupre to juggle and keep inbounds.
Danny White has punted 3 times, averaging just under 40 yards to boot. And Howard Stevens is back at the Baltimore 34-yard line. White standing at the 5, waiting for the snap. Here it comes. Chest high, gets the boat up in the air. It'll come down at the 50-yard line. Takes the bounce, and it is covered there, and Baltimore's got it in good field position at their own 46.
Well, they put the rush on that time, Tony. I knew they were going to try to go for the block. It was the only sensible thing to do, and it consequently didn't leave much chance for a return.
1st and 10 for the Colts at their own 46-yard line.
A big series of downs coming up with 1 minute and 38 seconds on the clock, and they're trailing by 3 points. The Colts are going for a drive.
Johnny goes wide to the left. Out to the right. We've got Carr. Back to throw is Jones. Jones up over the middle. Pass is incomplete. It was knocked down by linebacker Randy White. 6'4", 240 pounds, two-year man out of Maryland.
Try to feature this, if you will. Now the Cowboys are going into a two defensive end rush and a middle nose guard who fall off and play for the draw. Everybody else plays defense, 8-man secondary.
1:33 left to play. Second down and 10 to go. A field goal would put it into sudden death. And our producer, Pat McGurk, has a plane to catch. Jones back to fire. Looking, throws that ball. Incomplete. Penalty marker on the play. Pass was intended for Lydell Mitchell. He was hit by Randy White and another linebacker. That happened to be Tommy Henderson.
It's met with a little displeasure here, the decision, but I think it was a really good call because contact obviously was made before the ball reached him.
65,101 capacity crowd, Texas Stadium, and nobody is leaving this one. First down for Baltimore at the 50-yard line. They've got a minute and 27 seconds. They trail 27-24. First and 10 at midfield stripe. Colts come out of the huddle. Jones sends Dowdy out to the left. Roger Carr to the right. The backs are Lydell Mitchell and Don McCauley. Jones looking to throw. Fires over the middle. Caught at the 30-yard line and knocked down is Glenn Dowdy. Dowdy is hit almost immediately. The tackle by Mel Renfro. And now the Colts are moving within field goal range. Seconds ticking away. Clock stops after the first down, a minute 12 to go. And they change footballs now.
And they're already
1:12 left. The clock will start. Here's the snap. Back to Jones. Looking, throws. Crossed by McCauley down to the 20-yard line. And he may have it up for the first down. John McCauley made the grab, let her high. Hit immediately, and it's going to be very close to a first down. And Baltimore's going to call for a timeout.
You know, the poise,
1:03 left to play in the game.
the poise of that young man is fabulous because with a two-man rush and everybody falling off in pass defense, he elected to go a little bit deeper in that interim zone between linebackers and deep safety men, and it had to be a perfectly thrown pass, and it certainly was.
All right, what do you do here, Tom Pagna? 63 seconds left. Cowboys 27. Colts 24. It'll be second down, about a yard to go. Actually less than that for the first down. The ball is at the 21-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I think, Tony, without a doubt, they've got a shot at about 2, possibly 3 straight plays. Good plays, if they could, without ever endangering losing the ball. If those things don't work, then they can go for the field goal, obviously, to throw it into the overtime and go that way. But now is not the time for a dangerous play.
Tell me, whatever happened to the quick count quarterback sneak?
Well, it happened about the third quarter, I think, when Bert Jones took it in, but they're a little far out for that right now.
But it'll get to the first down. It also will stop the clock momentarily after the first down.
That's true. That's very true.
And you got the first down in 10, and then you've got a couple of plays to maneuver with.
That's very true, Tony. That's good thinking. I'll tell you right now, I think the timeouts are going to play a very important role in this. If we see a pattern, it'll probably be an outside individual single pattern.
Cowboys have 3 left. The Colts have 1 timeout left. 1:03 to go on the clock. Turn around, give Lydell first down 20, down to the 15 to 14-yard line. So Mitchell gets the first down as he hammers the right side.
And the clock is running.
50 seconds left to play. Colts don't want to use that last timeout. Chester wide to the right. Pass up, intended for McCauley. Had it, dropped it. He didn't turn around soon enough. Now McCauley was wide open, coming out of the backfield. Didn't turn around soon enough. The ball went off his hands at the 10.
They had him spread all over the field and just zeroed in on McCauley coming down the middle, and it was a little bobble ball. It's a wet ball in a wet field out there.
We're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, the News and Sports Radio Network.
This is your station for Sports Radio 86, WSON Henderson, 1 minute before 6.
Down and 10 for Baltimore. They've got the ball at the 15-yard line of Dallas. Dallas leads 27-24. 42 seconds left. Jones back to throws. Incomplete again. As McCauley dives for the ball at the 10-yard line.
stop the clock for them, that's not as great a disadvantage as it might have been.
It now becomes 3rd down and 10 to go. The clock stops, 38 seconds remaining. Do you run it up the middle? I'm not asking you to coach this one.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think he's going to put it in the air. I think he's going to throw the ball.
Out to the left goes Roger Carr. Dowdy is out to the right. McCauley and Mitchell in the backfield. Jones gets the snap. Makes the handoff. Rolls to the right. At the 20, the 15, the 10. Out of bounds at the 7. And up. It'll be a couple of yards short of a first down. Does Jones get up? He slid along the water. And he is up on his feet. And we've got 4th down, and here's what it falls down to. An 8-yard scamper on a run to the right. 4th down and 2 to go for Baltimore.
He really did the only thing he could do there by keeping the ball. All his receivers were covered, and he just turned the corner, got outside of their contain, had to keep the ball and get all he could get.
Linhart will try for the field goal. It'll come from the 15-yard line. It will be a 25-yard boot. The Cowboys call a timeout.
You know, Tony, there's something very critical at this stage. They have less than 5 yards to go for the first down. If you line up in a field goal position and the other team is drawn offside, it's an automatic first down. So they really can't put a tough rush on by Dallas, or at least if they do, they've got to be right with the ball. One penalty infraction here could change the complexion of the entire situation in the end of the game.
All right. Tom, the stat sheet says Linhart 1 for 1, 20 to 29 yards out. 2 for 2, 30 to 39 yards out. 0 for 1, 40 to 49 yards out. So he has made 3 out of 4 so far this year.
Well, the odds are with him, and he's got a good angle.
All right, Linhart with Bill Cook to hold. The ball to be spotted down at the 15. It will be a 25-yard kick. 31 seconds left. Snap, kick, up it is, good, and the Colts have tied it up. The Baltimore Colts have tied it up. It's a brand new ball game at 27 with 28 seconds left. And if there's any better football than Sunday afternoon football on Mutual, I haven't seen it yet, my friend.
No, I'll buy that. What a really wonderfully played football game we've seen today. Everything that could happen has happened. They've played well. We've seen a little bit of everything, and a great explosion of the 2 fine quarterbacks. Talk about Burt Jones, Roger Staubach, 2 of the finest in the league, exploding for chunks of yardage. A brain battle, picking the right play at the right time and against the right defense, making that fine move that Burt Jones made just to save possession of the ball, rolling out on the 3rd down, not being able to do anything with it, getting all he could get and setting it up for the 4th down field goal, tying field goal, 27-27.
28 seconds left, so it's not over yet. Jensen is out to the right. Near side, we've got Butch Johnson. Linhart will kick it off at the 35-yard line. What a football game. Cowboys 27, Colts 27. On a 25-yard field goal by Tony Linhart.
You know, one thing I'll say, too, Tony, it's only been a week ago that the Baltimore Colts won a 27-28 wing ding with the Cincinnati Bengals, so they're not new to this.
Here's the boot, up in the air, coming down to Johnson at about the 5-yard line. Takes it at the 4, the 5, 10, 15, at the 20, the 25. It's knocked down at the 30-yard line, 31-yard line. Good hit in there by Baltimore's Ron Lee, the running back. That's his second fine tackle. So we've got 23 seconds left to play. First and 10 for Dallas. They've got the ball at the 32-yard line. Game is tied at 27-all. Will we go to overtime for a second consecutive Sunday?
I'd say the odds are with it, Tony. If he throws a bomb here and he goes for all the marbles against the prevent defense, he's only hoping there'll be an interference call or a lucky completion.
All right, Staubach goes into the shotgun. Pearson wide right. Golden Richards out to the left. Roger gets the ball. Back to the 20-yard line. Looking, throwing to the right sideline. It is caught by Pearson. And he's out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Lloyd Mumford
you're afraid to get beat deep, so defensively you back up, and he does a little turnout, and with a great arm like Roger Staubach has, he has the ball right on the money and got himself that first down.
Preston Pearson now in the backfield for the Dallas Cowboys. Staubach 21 out of 27, 326 yards. Golden Richards wide right. In the backfield, Preston Pearson, Robert Newhouse. Drew Pearson is wide to the left. In the shotgun, Newhouse now in motion to the near side. Staubach back to throw. Looking, going to Bob. Long. Penalty marker on the play. Nobody there. There's a penalty marker on the play. And it's going to be against who? Laird is there. Talking it over. It goes like, check that, Bruce Laird and Darrell Luce. But it's going to be against the Batimore Colts.
When Newhouse went in motion to the left, that made trips. Three receivers to the left. Staubach gave it a look, then went back to his wide receiver to the right, who did a post maneuver. When he did the post, there was a collision, and it was called defensive interference.
So it's first and 10 Cowboys at the Batimore 32-yard line. 12 seconds showing on the clock. Long huddle by the Cowboys. Staubach stands. Golden Richards out right. Drew Pearson wide to the left. Now we've got it outside, and I believe it's going to be against Billy Joe Dupree. It'll be against the Dallas Cowboys. Illegal procedure against Dallas, and that'll cost them 5 big yards. That brings it up back to the 37-yard line of Baltimore.
That's 5 big yards when you talk about field goal range.
Amen. 12 seconds left. Cowboys 27, Colts 27. First down and 15 to go. Dallas in possession at the Baltimore 37-yard line. No doubt our outstanding offensive player is going to be Roger Staubach. Out to the left, we've got Pearson. Out to the right is Golden Richards. Now we got a 5-yard wrap. This one is going to be against the Baltimore Colts.
It's that little free shift that gets him.
And it was Ron Fernandez, a 6'4", 239-pound 2-year man from Eastern Michigan, who moved across the line of scrimmage, and that brings it down to the 32. Offside Baltimore. Time to really milking this one.
12 seconds, the longest 12
to the last
seconds
second. Cowboys out of the huddle. Staubach reaching under center. Wait for the snap. Gets it. Drops back to the 40. Looking. Going to the sideline. It is caught by Pearson. What a great pass. Drew Pearson out of bounds at the 14-yard line of Baltimore.
It was a marvelous throw. I really thought that he threw the ball away on purpose just to kill the clock. Drew Pearson came out of nowhere for the reception.
Drew Pearson makes the catch. Now we're going to have Efren Herrera, who hasn't missed a field goal all year, try for one. 6 seconds left. The game tied at 27. The ball to be put down at the 22, a 32-yard boost. Waiting for the snap is Danny White. Checking they get Waters. Spotted down. Kick is up. It is good. Efren Herrera has just kicked a 32-yard field goal. 3 seconds left. And the Cowboys lead it 30-27.
Not only is he number one in the program, Tony, right now he's number one in the Dallas people's hearts.
68 plays, make that 68 yards in 6 plays.
Roger Staubach just pinpointed a couple of beautiful passes.
30-27 Cowboys.
With 3 seconds running on the clock, it's got to be a run back all the way.
They really milked that clock. 68 yards in 20 seconds.
He did a marvelous job of hitting that last pass pattern to put him in field goal range. I really thought he was trying to unload the ball, but Drew Pearson cornered the field, came all the way from right side to the left side, and Starbuck and he connected.
All right, the run up and the boot. Howard Stevens back at about the 4-yard line. Bounces around, comes to the near side, picked up on a short out of the 23 at the 30-yard line. Looks like might be Ron Lee. He's back down at the 33. The football game is over, and the Dallas Cowboys have won a great game here this afternoon, coming from behind to win 30-27. We'll present the wrap-up of today's game right after this message from Midland.
Buddies, this here's the old rubber duck.
Hey there, Mr. Duck.
You know, someday you're going to want the best in CB radio.
I wish I had one.
So you'll get a Midland CB.
If I can afford it.
Well, why not go ahead and get a Midland CB? Right now at your Midland Convoy headquarters, you can get the best in CB at the very best price, too.
No fooling.
Those selected Midland CBs are now at special sale prices.
Midland's on sale?
You save up to 35% at participating dealers.
Hey, I can't afford it.
And remember, when you get a Midland CB, you get a Convoy buddy. So look for the Midland Convoy headquarters near you.
There's one right up ahead.
Hurry on in.
All right.
LCW sent you.
I will.
And don't miss the special sale prices on selected Midland CB.
I won't.
Because Midland's all the CB you're ever going to need.
That's a big 10-4.
Hey, good buddy.
Huh?
Left the keys in the car.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, CW. Wait a minute. How'd you do that?
Cowboys with a biggie here this afternoon. That means they're right on top, 3-0 now. The National Football Conference League. St. Louis was losing. The Redskins play the Eagles tomorrow night. So on Tuesday morning, it could wind up the Cowboys and the Redskins at the top of the heap in the NFC East. And the Cowboys, with Roger the Dodger back there, 68 yards, 6 plays in a matter of about 23 seconds. They really milked the clock. A super catch by Drew Pearson, who was double-teamed on the near sideline. Caught the ball, managed to hold out, went out of bounds at the 14-yard line. The field goal, a 32-yarder by Efren Herrera, is yet to miss, and a great victory for the Dallas Cowboys and a heartbreaker for the Baltimore Colts.
Well, indeed it was, Tony. The Colts refused to be denied. I mean, they just absolutely came back, and they led the thing the first half, then fell behind on a field goal and an 80-yard drive by the Cowboys. And that brought the score to 27-24. The Colts came back with a field goal attempt and tied it at 27-27. It looked to me, and I think to you, that we were going to go into an overtime game. But then that startling, and I mean startling, pinpoint passing out of that spread formation with the possibility of 5 receivers, the well-devised plan of Tom Landry and his offensive staff, got him back into the ball game, got him into field goal range, where Efren Herrera, number 1, kicked the field goal that won the ball game.
If there was any one play I thought to change the game, it was the poor judgment on Howard Stevens' part. Trying to catch that ball in a crowd over there. And the fumble, the subsequent recovery by Dallas, because the Colts had control of the game at that time. Dallas recovered that fumble. It went on to score the next 3 times they got their hands on the football.
That's exactly right. It was one of those kicks that probably he could have easily walked away from because it was coming down at a bad angle. The field was wet. We were under a heavy downpour, and the momentum definitely did change after that, and it became more and more a Cowboy football game.
And fumble recoveries were so important because Dallas fumbled 3 times in the first half. Baltimore recovered all 3 and scored on 2 of those, and then the Stevens thing, of course, turned it around. Our offensive player of the day, absolutely no doubt about it, Roger Staubach. He was fantastic. And our defensive player, they tell us it's going to be Joe Irving, the Baltimore tackle. So Staubach gets the offensive player award. He'll get a lazy boy chair as the outstanding offensive player, the outstanding defensive player in today's game. Of course, is Joe Irving, the big tackle from the Baltimore Colts. We'll continue our wrap-up right after this word.